What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Tuesday night. It is Tuesday Night Titans, episode 143. It is Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York. As always, joined by the one and only. He is a lot of trouble on Tuesday nights. The Solid Monster. What's going on, brother?
You got a better singing voice, too.
You do. You do.
Yeah. Well, you've heard it in karaoke before.
I have. Not the proper song for karaoke, because that's my fault. That was my fault. I'll never live that one down, but
definitely not.
Yes, I don't know, man. Liv Morgan, a pop star. You think she can handle it?
I think she can handle anything she wants to. She looked like a raving psycho last night. I don't want to mess with her. I don't want to say anything bad about her.
She was demonically possessed or something. I don't know.
I said, forget Demon Balor. We had Demon Liv last night. I'm more afraid of her than I am Balor.
Liv Morgan does indeed have a new music video out, which I think Michael Cole today confirmed that will be her new entrance music.
I figured it would be. I mean, otherwise, why the significance of doing this the week before WrestleMania? I'm just shocked that we actually have music videos anymore. I didn't know that was still a thing.
I know. You know, I don't know who she was interviewed with. I saw her and Dominic sitting down with somebody, and they both said they hate the Judgment Day theme music, and they both hate their own individual themes. I'm like, oh,
I'm not shocked.
Join the list.
Yeah, that's a growing list, I'm sure, of talent in that company that would say the same thing.
Thank you guys very much for joining us, man. We got a lot to get into. WrestleMania 42 is this weekend. Night 1, Saturday. Night 2, Sunday. And Dynasty was this past Sunday night. And we're going to go over all of that tonight. We're going to go over the Carlos Silva TNA, pulling talents from various independents and wrestling shows across Las Vegas this current week. So we'll go over that as well. And I want to thank you guys for a tremendous amount of support. Last week, we did 53,000 views. That may be one of the highest viewed TNTs that we've ever done. Maybe one of the highest that Jason and I have done, period. And 2,300 likes. So you guys fucking killed it. And I told you this was going to be the place to be for WrestleMania coverage, and you guys are living up to that. So thank you very much for all of your support. I got to shout him out now before I do forget. Yo boy Pete in the chat, dropping a $100 super chat already. Happy Mania Week to the best two-man booth in the biz. Safe travels to you both on your way to Las Vegas. What is both of your top 5 WrestleMania moments of all time? I feel like we answered this question the last 3 weeks.
I do, maybe 4 weeks.
You know, Pete, we're gonna save that for the end, okay? We're gonna take a rain check on that for a couple of hours. We'll definitely answer that, being that we got a lot of WrestleMania coverage to get into. But thank you very much, my friend. You've been killing it with the support this week, and thank you for showing up again here on Tuesday night. We got all that, and we're going to get into it in just a second. I do want to make one announcement. We do have new merch coming out. My guy, Dustin, is working on new merch, but I had already planned to open up the new storefront in anticipation for the new TNT design. So Salrex, he made me a new off-the-script design, and that's actually on sale right now. I linked the new storefront, which you guys can go check out now. It's going to have my merch. It's going to have TNT merch. So that's on fourth wall. So you guys can go check that out right now. Great website. There's coasters, TNT coasters. There's TNT coffee mugs. And there's going to be a whole slew of things, hoodies, women's T-shirts. So make sure you guys go and do that. And we're going to have a brand new TNT design up there in the next month or so. And you're going to have all the merchandise you want right there. So go and check that out. Anything that you guys do there supports us directly here on the show. So thank you very much. Please hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes. Super chats are open. I'd love to see that same energy. Thank you, Pete, again. Let's get those super chats in. We'll hang it at the end of the show. And if you guys want to go follow Jason on social media and on YouTube, everything you need for him is linked down below. I know he was not live like the rest of us lunatics on Sunday night for Dynasty. And I believe, Jason, your Dynasty coverage before anywhere else went up on Uncrowned today. Is that correct?
Yes, it did. Episode 10 of Uncrowned. Full Dynasty recap. WrestleMania news and some other news as well I didn't get into on the Sound Off this weekend. So that officially pushed out probably about 90 minutes ago. So you can find that on the Ariel Helwani Show feed or the dedicated Uncrowned Wrestling podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. So go check it out.
There you go. All right, my friends, let's get into this big week we have coming up. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I feel like we should probably talk about where you and I are going to be on Thursday because I'm excited. I know you're excited for it. House of Glory coming to the Pearl Theater at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas on Thursday night. Now, maybe some of you guys will be there, and if so, you better say hello to the two of us. I'm hoping that we'll have a chance to meet a whole bunch of people in the next couple of days. If you can't be there, though, it will be streaming on Triller TV. And honestly, like for all the years that I know that we've been doing commentary, this to me looks to be the most stacked card I think that we have ever put together for an HOG show. We've got Bandito against the Amazing Red, first time ever. We've got Brody King and Zilla Fatu, first time ever. We've got the Hardys defending the HOG tag team titles against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. We've got Charles Mason defending the HOG world title against Michael Oku. We've got Shotzi putting her women's title on the line against Charlie, the former Dakota Kai. We've got Ricky Sosa making his debut, taking on Cashflow Ken Broadway.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, indeed. Yes, bang, bang, indeed. So that is going to be a whole lot more. I'm very excited for this. Tickets are still available. HOGwrestling.net. I promise you, one thing I can promise you, they will not cost you as much as it will to go to Allegiant Stadium this weekend. I make that guarantee. I make that pledge to all of you now. The commissioner made it so that it will not cost you an arm and a leg to go see a wrestling show this week.
Even with the 25% off, they're still incredibly expensive. So make sure you guys show up, man. I shaved. I got a haircut. I got no more long hair. It's all gone. So you guys got to come on out.
Oh,
yeah, it's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
You are correct, though.
I would have saved it for like a hair match or something. Now you just blew the whole gimmick.
With who? Who am I going to have a hair match with?
Well,
Sap?
you leave that to me. And I will come up with something. But now you've ruined it. So
I know, I guess. Just like I ruin everything. You are correct, though. It is probably, I said this to a couple of people, it is the most stacked card that we've put together, if not ever. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be a great show. Very excited to be in Vegas tomorrow. I'm actually leaving tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., and then Jason's following right behind me. So we're going to be one, and then he's going to be right behind me. So we'll be there tomorrow afternoon into Thursday, and then we'll both be home for Friday because it's going to be a big WrestleMania weekend. It's the busiest season of the year for both of us. All right, man. Where do you want to start? You want to start AEW, being that this is predominantly going to be a WWE show?
Well, I mean, normally I would say yes, but then I'll have people go, of course he's going to start with AEW. So I'm going to shake it up a little bit and say, why don't we tackle this TNA story?
Okay.
Which I know you had in the preview here, since it ties into a lot of the events that are going on in the next few days. A lot of wrestling coming up in these next few days, and a story that did not paint TNA in the best light.
No. Earlier in the week, last week, it was a story that went out. And it started out as just a growing concern that TNA would end up pulling talent from various independent promotions and some promotions that will be in Las Vegas for WrestleMania week. These matches that TNA talent were going to be working against featured AEW wrestlers or worked with an AEW partnered company. So we started hearing people get pulled, and the first person that I heard was pulled was Moose, because Moose was supposed to be on a Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling show, and Moose got pulled. And then we start to hear Ricky, not Ricky Sosa. You got fucking bang bang on the head now. Ricochet and Leon Slater. They were supposed to wrestle at WrestleCon in Las Vegas, and then Leon Slater got pulled. And then we start to hear the big one, MJF and Nick Nemeth. And all of a sudden that got pulled. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And we start to get a snowball of stories about people getting pulled. And we got MJF on social media going at Carlos Silva. He's calling into Busted Open Radio, doubling down on what he says about Carlos Silva. Nick Nemeth actually went on Busted Open and said he was crushed that the MJF match got pulled and he was really looking forward to it. MJF actually went as far as to say that Carlos Silva is actively a dumb motherfucker. He held nothing back. You pay your talents shit and then force them off shows where they can make money. And he used the hashtag LOLTNA. So that snowballed into just a lot of negative press for
it was TNA. It was a bad look for Nemeth. It made him look bad because it was like a month ago where he was saying that, I think MJF's boss may end up pulling him from this match because he's afraid of me. Well, I mean, that kind of aged very poorly, and now we see the situation. It was kind of the shoe was on the other foot, and he got pulled by his boss for whatever reason. So it just made him look bad. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong, but the whole situation, when we talk about the talents who obviously got pulled from the matches, just think about the promotions and the promoters who had these matches planned, and a lot of them were very angry. And you saw some of the statements from some of them, not just the WrestleCon statement. Who said, look, we had an agreement. Everything was agreed upon. Everything was cleared in advance. And now we're a week out or less than a week out from these shows. And then they kind of dropped the hammer on them. So there were a lot of really pissed off people, tied into this situation.
Yeah, the High Spots owner, where Ricochet and Leon Slater was supposed to take place, it was supposed to be a Mark Hitchcock super show, a memorial super show. It was supposed to be, for a good cause. So I don't really know why that kind of, just snowballed into what it was. He actually spoke out, the High Spots owner, and said he found out about the cancellation of Ricochet and Leon Slater through the internet and hasn't heard back from Carlos Silva at all. He says, the internet was how I found out about it. Dave Meltzer originally reached out saying, hey, I heard that this match might be pulled. Do you have any ideas about what's happening? And I did not at that time, honestly. I asked Ricochet and Leon's agent to follow up. He talked to Mr. Silva, confirmed that was the plan. Then I started talking to Brian Myers because I knew Brian was going to be in a similar situation with his match with Nick Nemeth and MJF. At the time, he had no clue this was coming down the pipeline. And then, of course, 24 hours later, he got the information as well. The first communication I got directly from TNA was about 2 hours before their pay-per-view this past Saturday. Mr. Silva sent me a text saying he'd like to communicate, but that was after we had changed the match and replaced the match. I still haven't spoken to him. I told him, sure, call me anytime you have time to talk. And I have not heard from him again. Now, I actually talked about this. I made a separate video on my own, Jason. I went and talked about this with Coach today on the 2 Count. I hear people saying that this was a Carlos Silva decision. I am in the camp of not believing that. I think Carlos Silva is a liar. No. I think Carlos Silva is a puppet. And I honestly think that his puppet masters in TKO, Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel, WWE, the WWE, the only brand that they are allowed to partner with, and basically they are WWE's bitch, let's be real, they are the ones who told Carlos Silva to make this move. And I think that's fucked up because you look at MJF, I think MJF was supposed to wrestle Bear Bronson at a GCW show. That's a fucking huge deal for Bear Bronson to be in the ring with somebody like MJF. That's a career-defining moment for him, and he had that taken away from him. Nick Nemeth, I was looking forward to that match myself, and I thought that's a great match. That's a fucking dream match to some people, and they were both looking forward to that. They built it up nicely on social media, pulled. Ricochet and Leon Slater, I mean, that would have been great for Las Vegas. The 2 great athletes, and now we can't get to see it. I think they replaced it with an all AEW match. I think Jet Speed now is going up against the Demand, or something like that. Yeah,
it's a rematch from Forbidden Door, the pre-show last year. That's the match that they did. And for them, look, it makes Tony Khan look like a hero here because he gets to step in now and play hero and say, okay, you guys were put in a tough spot. Well, hey, let's make this match happen. So he approved that, and that's cool because they got caught between a rock and a hard place, and they were in a really tough situation. The idea that this was just the Carlos Silva decision doesn't even make any sense because just out of nowhere like that, it was such a sudden thing. And so I think most people kind of put 2 and 2 together. I think the comment he made to Sean Ross Sapp was partner conflicts, I think is what Silva had told him. Well, that really only means one of 2 things, right? AMC doesn't give a shit about any of this.
They don't give a fuck, no.
And that leaves WWE. So put 2 and 2 together. I mean, it's not confirmed, but I think we could kind of see what's going on here. And look, for all the benefits, and there are a lot of benefits that TNA has been able to reap from this relationship with WWE, now this is the flip side of that, right? Where they can kind of say, hey, wave their magic wand and say, we don't want this, we don't want that. And now Carlos Silva's in a situation where what is he going to do? Is he going to say, fuck you, you can't tell me how to run my company? I mean, he could, but then there goes that partnership. And so it puts him in a tough spot. I don't know. I don't see the need to lie about it, but that's clearly what happened here. I mean, I don't know why all of a sudden it became an issue. There were a couple of TNA performers who got some big wins over AEW talents over the last month. If you go back, I mean, there was a match just recently where Mercedes lost her Winnipeg Pro Championship to Jody Threat, who's part of the TNA roster, and there was no issue there. We had on the House of Glory show last month, right? We had a match between Deonna Purrazzo, right? She was in action on that show with Indy Hartwell, and there was no issue there. So all of a sudden it became an issue. I don't know why now, but it just made them look very, very bad because it put people that they had done business with and there was like a kind of a mutual relationship or respect there. And now when you screw somebody over like that, why would they want to kind of do business with you in the future? I mean, I'm sure they'll want to because they're going to want access to that talent. They're not going to want to, cut that pipeline off. But why would they have trust in you in the future if they don't know, like they're going to plan a big match like this and then worry that a few days before everything may be thrown into chaos? People, they sold tickets. There were fans who were flying in part to see some of these matches, or the fans get screwed. It's not just the promoters and the talent, right? The fans get screwed too. So they found a way to unite everybody against them at a time when they can really ill afford that because they've got this show on AMC and they're trying to drive some sort of a buzz for the show and for the product. And this is something that is just going to kind of undo all of that and make people look at TNA and go, like MJF said, LOL TNA. There always seems to be a new chapter in that story. So it was just a really shitty situation all around. I'm glad they got a replacement match for that Memorial show. That was, good to see. But they have every right to be upset about it. It was a fucked up situation that shouldn't have happened.
I think Ricochet even said, I don't remember where he said it. He said the match outcome and the way the match was going to end was already determined weeks ago before we even got the graphic made. It's like sometimes it just bleeds into that political atmosphere. And it's like, it's very easy to decide who wins and who loses. And I know that's always going to be a thing. We've seen it. But like with Nemeth and MJF, like, why would that be so difficult to come to a determination on who's going to win that match? Instead, we'll just pull it all together. Or Ricochet and Leon Slater. I think Ricochet would be in the camp of like, you know what? He's the X Division champion. I think he's the one that needs to go over here. It's like, it's an easy decision.
Whatever they decide. I mean, whatever, that's between them as far as whatever kind of finish they decide. But the point is, to WWE, it doesn't matter. Like WWE, do you think WWE gives a shit if they fuck up this person's car, they don't care. They don't care that Carlos Silva now is like public enemy number one. They're like, they basically threw him under the bus here and made him look like a lightweight. That's what happened here. They don't care. It's all political. It's all political. It's all gamesmanship. That's all it is. And all it did, again, was give Tony Khan, a week in the same week where he did Coachman and Russo's show. And I think he came out of it with a lot of people. I think more people than not think he did a good job with the interview and he handled it well and it went well. And then he gets to turn around and be like, oh, okay, well, I'll step up and be the good guy in this scenario. So public relations wise, I don't think he could have had a better week, frankly.
Well, listen, he's covering, Tony Khan's covering all his bases. I know we've been very critical of him, of who he's not using on TV and how many people are off TV and where are they. I mean, people mentioned Britt Baker. I mean, the fucking guy brought back Hikaru Shida and Camille of all people in the same month. Like, I guess he's trying to like kind of fix some things that were really being criticized about. So good on him for doing that. I just find it funny that it came after all this situation, quite honestly.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Camille comes back in the same week that she's popping up on American Gladiators at the end of the week. So
yes, I know.
I'm sure that, and they even plugged it too on commentary.
They did. Somebody mentioned, I think Willow mentioned it in her promo during the 0 hour. Regardless, this Carlos Silva thing, another thing that, and before we move on, apparently there was rumors that they did what they did. Silva did what he did because he was upset that AEW encroached Impact on Thursday and went head-to-head with Impact on Thursday because of some preemption for something. I think there was some sporting event on TBS.
NCAA, maybe.
Yeah, some basketball game. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, what the fuck is the problem? Like, TNA starts at 9 o'clock. Collision starts at 8. You'd only be going head to head for 1 hour. Like, you're gonna ruin these guys' livelihoods for the fucking week, the biggest weekend of the year, for 1 fucking hour.
Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't make any sense anyway because it wasn't an AEW decision to move into that time slot. I mean, that they have no control over that. They were going to get bumped no matter what. And by the way, they had been bumped before. It's not the first time that Collision is aired on a Thursday. But it's as if Tony Khan said, yeah, why don't we land here on the schedule? I think we should run this particular night. How about that? Like, so that I never bought that.
Why would Tony want to be on Thursday? He loves that basketball lead-in. Why the fuck would he want to be on any day but Saturday during that moment, even if it's at 11 p.m. Eastern? He don't give a shit.
No, again, it's not his call to make. I mean, he may want to run that night, but again, it's not his call to make. Or if it is, if he would rather run on a different night, I don't know that he has control over which night of the week it runs. Frankly, I think Collision would probably do well if it ever moved to Thursdays.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. So yeah, that was just nonsense from the beginning. Like, I never bought that anyways, being any sort of real reason. Like, oh, they stole viewers from us on this one night, I'll show them. Like, no, it's like, as he strokes his cat. Like, no, it doesn't make any sense to me. We can read between the lines here and see what happened. And WWE is going to do what WWE always does. Look, we had Ric Flair go into meltdown mode last week because he got notified that WWE was forcing him out of his Roots of Fight deals. He has a merchandise deal with Roots of Fight, and it's like a clothing brand, and they have deals with a lot of wrestlers, including WWE talent, CM Punk, Bret Hart, so I think Sergeant Slaughter, and a whole bunch of people. And I'm sure he makes good money with them, and he found out he can't work with them anymore. And so he posted this tweet, and you know it's a Ric Flair tweet because the first letter of every word is capitalized. And so I'm reading this, and he's going off on them, and he's saying, why do they want to destroy my legacy? And he's just popping off, and he's going to shoot on them this past Monday. He's going to go on Yahoo and do what CM Punk did and drop a pipe bomb on them. And he's, WWE, I mean, they like waving their dick around. They don't mind, messing with people's shit. They don't care. Doesn't matter to them. Flair was like, I would hope they would make an exception, but I guess in this situation, they couldn't make an exception. They wanted to make an exception, they can make an exception.
You mean Ric Flair didn't ruin his legacy when he did a cameo and he blasted some guy for getting married in a drunken tirade?
Well, I said Ric Flair's been doing a good job of ruining his own legacy for 15 years now. He doesn't have to blame WWE for that.
How many divorces has he gone through? 5 now?
Yeah, so.
I don't know.
Yeah, WWE's making a lot of people, including their own viewers, very unhappy right now.
By the way, that TNA deal on AMC, who do you think brokered that one? It certainly wasn't fucking Carlos Silva. I'm sure Ari Emanuel and Nick Khan backed him on that one as well.
But that's what I mean when I say it's a balancing act, right? Because it's easy to say, okay, well, why doesn't he just tell them no? This is not right.
Yes.
We had agreements, and I don't want to do this. Because then he may be in breach of contract. It may not just be that he'll blow the whole deal up. They have benefited from the WWE partnership more than not. And so the last thing they want to do is jeopardize that. So when WWE wants to get heavy-handed or they have a request, it would behoove them to make sure that they do, whatever Nick Khan and WWE want them to do. But unfortunately, you end up in a situation like this where they end up looking like, assholes out of it. Even if it's something they didn't want to do, they had no choice. Because when you do business with WWE, unfortunately, there's going to be fallout, and we saw an example of that last week.
Well, we'll see how great that partnership is when Mike Santana's contract comes up in June, where he's going to go. Is he going to stay or is he going to go? And where's he going to go? If he goes to WWE, what type of partnership is that?
I think he's got a direct path there if he wants it.
We'll see.
They just had him on NXT a few weeks ago. You don't think WWE doesn't want to get their hands on him?
Of course they do.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
like everybody, just like Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry and whoever else they're going to fucking steal away over there.
It's up to him. He chose to re-sign with them the last time. I feel like unless he wants to kind of extend that run as champion and kind of be the flag bearer in the AMC era, I mean, I don't know what's in his head, but it would seem to me that if his ultimate goal is to end up there this summer, then that's where he'll end up.
We'll see. We'll keep a close eye on that. But that's the story there coming out of LOL TNA. And as we move on into AEW, we stick with the AEW theme. Sunday was Dynasty. Now, they had a very good show. I actually thought it was a better in-ring product than Revolution was. There was barely any plunder and barely any bleeding outside of Adam Copeland, which was a very nice sight to see. And I thought it was a okay show. The only problem I had with Dynasty was that I thought the weeks leading up to the show were very boring. I thought that they really kind of just pasted a card together for the sake of getting a card together, because the going into the go-home show, I think we had 6 matches total, and then we had a fleshed out card by the time we got to Sunday. What were your overall thoughts, Jason, on Dynasty from Sunday night in Vancouver?
I thought it was a very good show. It was one of those situations where you can pick out like 2 or 3 really like excellent matches, and then there's a bunch of stuff in the middle that it's like, there's some stuff I didn't really care for. There's stuff that's always, why is this happening on this show? That's how, I mean, and this is the second time now where I felt that way about that trios match before the main event, where it's like, I'm looking, I forget for a moment. I forget. I think the main event is coming up next, and I'm like, son of a bitch, we have another match. Why is this happening on this show? And for Kyle O'Reilly, who made his return, I know to him that was a big deal. He got a moment. He grew up in that area. So, I mean, great. But like realistically, did that match need to happen on the show? No, of course not. And you could find maybe one other one. They could tighten things up a little bit. It's all the usual issues I have with the AEW pay-per-views, but I had no real problem with the in-ring. They had a crowd that sounded pretty loud throughout. I mean, you never know what you're going to get, but you're getting a Canadian crowd, an AEW crowd. Typically, they're pretty loud. So, yeah, it was a very good show. I don't know that anything stood out to me as something we're going to be talking about in like end-of-year lists. We always have this conversation with AEW shows, like, was anything match of the year worthy? No, I don't think so. But, like, the tag team matches were great. Those 2 tag team matches, the Bucks match and then the tag team title match. I enjoyed those both, and I thought MJF and Kenny Omega had a really great match too. We'll go through it here, and we'll pick out certain moments maybe that we didn't like. But you know what you're going to get with these shows. You're always going to get strong in ring. I don't think there was a lot of surprises in terms of like big storyline developments. Camille may have been the biggest surprise. I was like, holy shit! You talk about just vanishing into thin air and then just reappearing when you least expect it. The last time we saw her was November of 2024.
556 days. You believe that?
I thought it was even more than that. Might have been. I thought it was like 569 or something. But like, dude, like that. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm sure they're not going to address the angle they shot to write her off television. You know,
what angle? You guys remember her on TV somewhere?
Can't do it because they're doing the same thing with Toni Storm now. So you can't go back to the Camille angle from a year and a half ago. That doesn't make any sense. So that honestly may have been the biggest kind of shock of the entire thing. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it even more because I knew I wasn't going live when it was over.
Oh well, so. I mean, I didn't have Jesse didn't even watch the show Sunday night. I don't know how he consumed it, but I did the show by myself, and I was working with a strained voice because of my Pat McAfee ranting over the last week. Thanks, Pat. But we'll start here. Alex Windsor beat Marina Shafir. Like Jason said, Camille lives. She returns. Before Camille actually wrestled on the 0 hour where she won in about 90 seconds, she attacked Willow in the back, and that's how she made her monumental return. So Willow comes out at the end of Camille's match and tries to get some revenge, and then Camille laid her out again. And then Tony Khan booked for Wednesday's Dynamite Spring Breakthrough in Everett, Washington. It's going to be Camille going after the TBS Championship because she's been away for 2.5 years. Why not just give her a fucking title match against Willow Nightingale?
Willow's got this open challenge going, so it's part of the open challenge. She's giving her a title match.
Real creative stuff there. Open challenge.
Well, this is wrestling. Everyone loved their open challenge. Even Brock Lesnar got in on the fun this year. Says, I want to do an open challenge too.
That is correct. So Camille's going after the TBS title. That's happening on Wednesday's Dynamite Spring Breakthrough. Camille versus Willow. Willow is selling a shoulder injury. She's got the kinesia tape all wrapped up. So we'll see what happens there. Will we see a title change? I highly doubt it. I think Camille is back because, like Jason said, American Gladiator, she'll be on TV for 3 weeks and then disappear all over again.
You know what her name is on American Gladiators?
No.
Hurricane.
Oh. She's going to come in and then leave like a hurricane.
And Wardlow is on there. His name is Fang.
I think Wardlow sounds even better than Fang as an American Gladiator name. I don't know. I guess they couldn't use Wardlow.
I think so too. But what?
Fang?
But,
what makes him Fang?
I don't know. Maybe he's going to put in like Dracula teeth or something and bite people. I don't know. Maybe everybody has a gimmick.
We'll see. I think. Where's that? Amazon? Or Hulu?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. I think that'll be ready by the time we hit the plane tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're dropping the first 3 or 4 episodes. I don't think they're dropping the entire season. So I think this week it's maybe the first 3, and then next week it's another 3, and then another 3 after that. I think that's how they're doing it.
There you go. So Camille, Wardlow, and
Yeah, Camille,
my guy Boogs is on there too.
Yeah, Rick Boogs, Jesse Goddard, who was in TNA many years ago, and The Miz is hosting.
There you go. We did get Willow mentioning American Gladiators, so we'll see if Excalibur and the commentary team follow suit. Jungle Jack, he defended the AEW national title against Mark Davis, who's apparently all over their show every single week. They love Mark Davis. Jungle Jack retains. I don't know what they're doing with that championship. I guess Ricochet is kind of still in the hunt there because I think he's going after that championship sooner rather than later, if anybody cares. But Jungle Jack retains. And then we got the Women's Tag Team Championships on the 0 Hour. It was Megan Bayne and Lena Cross against Maya World and Hyon. And Divine Dominion
they look so
get
good together.
They do. They look fantastic.
When they walk out to the ring,
yeah,
like towering over all the fans as they're coming down the ramp. Like, again, it's tough luck for Penelope Ford, but like whenever she's ready to come back, I would not be breaking up this team. Like, to me, this is the team that should have been.
Yeah.
I think it kind of all worked out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, they retained, and I believe the plan there is for the Brawling Birds to get the championship win at Wembley over this dominating duo of Lena Cross and Megan Bayne.
I have to think so. I mean, that's what would make sense to me.
Yeah. So we actually start the show. I was glad to see Tony Khan did not do the stupid, cringy fireworks going off during the last pre-show match that bleeds into the actual show. They put an end to that, hopefully, for good. We actually started the show off with a real match and a real intro. So that was nice to see. We got Okada and Takeshita. This was supposed to be Fletcher, but Fletcher got hurt, and he tore his meniscus. He's going to be out for quite a while. So Takeshita is in there, teaming with Okada against the Young Bucks. Now, there wasn't really any story coming into this. This was just something that they pieced together to get the Young Bucks on the pay-per-view because they need to be there. And then they wanted to, at the same time, Jason, to sell us on Okada and Takeshita. Now, Don Callis has been going on saying that this is the Jordan and Pippen of AEW, or the Jordan and Pippen of the Don Callis family. I would say that Okada is probably the Jordan, and Takeshita could be a Jordan too. He's fucking incredible. But in this case, I think he's the Pippen.
The old Okada would really be Jordan.
Yeah.
He's still pretty good.
Yeah, Takeshita, I guess, is the new Jordan, I guess, if you want to go there.
At least try to use a slightly newer analogy, like Shaq and Kobe.
Sure, they could.
A little bit newer.
They could. So the whole deal here was Takeshita didn't want to team with Okada. So he told Don Callis on Wednesday, I want him and I want his titles. He's pointing to the International Championship. And Don Callis is like, enough of this shit. You team and do what you got to do for me. Beat the Young Bucks, and if you guys can remain a team and beat the Young Bucks, I will make this match happen for the International Championship between you guys, and you can fight it out at Double or Nothing. I'm like, okay. Well, I guess Double or Nothing is better than fucking waiting till August.
Yeah. I don't know that he said beat the Young Bucks. I think he just wanted him to commit to doing the match. Like, we got to do this for Kyle and do it for me. If you do me this favor, agree to team with him against the Young Bucks, then you'll get your match. I don't recall him ever saying you had to win the match.
I thought he had to win. They had to win the match and remain as a team. Maybe you're correct. I don't know.
I'm not so sure about
somebody,
that.
Somebody go investigate that one. So that was the whole story coming into this. Obviously, we got this match to start the show, 21 minutes. I thought they did a very good job. This was an incredible match. I thought this was probably one of the best matches on the show outside the main event, in my opinion. These tag team matches do end up feeling the same. It gets to a point where there's no tags. You don't know who's legal. It ends up being a fucking four-way match by the time it gets down to like the third, fourth quarter here. But these matches usually are very, very good. And I did praise the Young Bucks, even though people, they just get a lot of hate for some reason. And I said, Jason, I don't know if you agree, in the landscape of pro wrestling, where tag team wrestling right now is probably fucking the weakest it's been in forever, AEW still has somewhat of a tag team division. And I wish that they would kind of enhance that, because the teams are there and it could be a really great division. Outside of all the teams that we are not seeing right now on television, the Young Bucks, no matter what people think about them, are probably one of the most pure, if not the most pure tag team outside the Hardys right now, still doing their fucking thing. They're actually giving it tag team wrestling. So I don't know how anybody could legitimately hate them if you love tag team wrestling. They're one of the only teams still doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, there's people that like the Young Bucks and severely dislike them, and that hasn't changed. Like all the reasons they hate the Bucks, like the super kicks and the big, the big high spots, the spot fests. I think that's why a lot of people just sort of soured on them. The people who don't like them, that hasn't changed. I mean, they're still wrestling the same style. I think it's people that don't like the way they work, so that's not going to change. And the people that love the Young Bucks, they're going to love the Young Bucks no matter what. I mean, look, you can't deny the fact that they are one of the more important tag teams of this generation. Just if for no other reason, the impact they had, being a part of the founding of this company, they were a big part of the origins of AEW. So for that reason alone, that gives them a leg up on most other tag teams who were just great tag teams. They were a great tag team, and they actually had a pretty big influence, I would say, on the business as it is today. So nobody can deny that. But if you don't like the Young Bucks, that's fine. You don't have to like the Young Bucks. I don't think anybody's going to come around on them, though, if they didn't like them before, because nothing's really changed. You know what I mean? It's an acquired taste. Some people are like, oh, the super kick party. It's all they do is super kick and spot. Those people, you're going to change those people's minds.
I know. You could say the same thing about the Usos, though. What have the Usos changed in their dynamic?
Nothing. And it's the same thing there too with the constant super kicks. Some people they can't stand it. So I mean, again, it's a subjective thing there, but now we've seen them have great matches before. We had a great match at Revolution with FTR, and they were on the losing end of that one. Here they won. I'm sure they're still going to be in that tag team title hunt. I think that I don't know about them getting a championship match at Double or Nothing. I have a feeling we may end up with a match with them against Cope and Christian to try to prolong things a little bit until we get to a point where we get everybody, in the ring together. I have a feeling that's where this is.
I mean, I would assume that 2-on-2 match is going to happen. I said, because of the ending of this match, and I guess I'll lead into what I want to say here. There was a lot of miscommunications between Takeshita and Okada. There was a situation where I think Takeshita got shoved, or Okada was shoved into Takeshita. Takeshita ran into a power driver knee, and then he had Okada instead. And there was just a lot of miscommunications where it absolutely boiled over until the end of the match, where Okada was about to take the Meltzer driver from the Bucks, and Takeshita was on the outside, and he grabbed, I believe it was Matt Jackson's leg. And apparently he said, you know what? I'm just going to let you finish the move. And he backed away, and he willingly lost the match. So he gave up his international championship desires in his match with Okada at Double or Nothing to let the Young Bucks win this match. And the Young Bucks ended up winning the match after delivering the Meltzer driver. And Takeshita and Okada are probably going to have more tensions building over from this match into Wednesday's Dynamite. So what I wanted to say as far as the outcome here, Bucks won and Cope and Christian lost. Surprisingly, we'll get into that. I genuinely think, Jason, with the Bucks winning here, Cope and Christian losing, and FTR still the champions, I think we get a triple threat match. I think we do that ladder match for the tag team titles at Double or Nothing in Queens.
I mean, I could see it. Again, are they going to save a bigger moment maybe for the summer, for Wembley?
That's where I could see the Young Bucks and Edge and Christian. FTR will have done their job.
And so they're just sort of shafted and have no match at all.
It won't be the first time we saw someone shafted from a major show this year.
They're the Carmelo Hayes of AEW.
Is
FTR. Yeah, I guess I could see that. But you no-sold the best part of this match, though. Which was Okada putting on the headband and the jacket as one of the Young Bucks and getting up on the apron in their corner and reaching for the hot tag from Matt Jackson and then smiling at him and flipping him off.
That was
the best part of the entire match.
Yes. Very good match here. Went 21 minutes. Bucks beats Okada and Takeshita. We'll see what happens on Wednesday's Dynamite if there is any follow-up. Took them 4 weeks to follow up after the screwdriver spot at World's End. Hopefully it is not the same amount of time here. They need to go right into it and give us some story between these two because this is very interesting and a match that a lot of people want to see. Chris Jericho, he went one-on-one with Ricochet. Now, Ricochet had the demand in his corner, so it was realistically a 3-on-1 situation here against Chris Jericho. What did you make, Jason, of Jericho and Ricochet being built on Wednesday's Dynamite? I know Jesse and I talked about it on Wednesday, the week that it was made. Was it something that you were happy to see them kind of just put Jericho in that spot, get him on the show and get him on the pay-per-view, or would you have rather Tony waited, built something a little bit more substantial for Jericho's return for a first major feud and then wait maybe till Double or Nothing?
No, I mean, I didn't see any reason to wait. The guy's already been out for a year. Clearly, this was time to bring him back on this Canadian swing. You know, he came back in Winnipeg. He signed his contract in Edmonton, and he had his first match back in Vancouver. So it was designed that way, and it was smart because look at the reaction he got in Vancouver. It was better than the reaction he got in either of the other two places.
Yes.
You know, they were into everything that he was doing, and it was basically him doing the greatest hits. You know, the Lion Salt, the top rope Hurricane Rana. He was taking some bumps, and he took a fucking, God, what did he take? Was it a pile driver or something on the edge of the ring? I mean, he took some kind of weird
it might have been a Death Valley driver.
Death Valley driver on the edge of the ring.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, it was designed to get him on this show. So you have another attraction for the show, but also get him in front of a very, favorable crowd. And clearly, with him losing, which did surprise me, I mean, they're telling some sort of story with him. I don't know if he's going to go lose the first few matches and then get a big win or what the plan is here. I have no issue with him working with Ricochet. In a lot of ways, Ricochet is the perfect first opponent for him for two reasons. Number one, Ricochet is really good in the ring, right? So, I mean, realistically, he's probably one of the best they could have come up with for Jericho to work with. Because he's going to be able to bump around for him and he's going to be able to just do all these incredible things. But also, people fucking hate him.
Yeah.
They don't like Ricochet.
Yeah.
So he's guaranteed to get booed, which is only going to be a good thing for Jericho because he wants to be cheered. So he's the perfect first opponent for him. And if they want to run that back again at Double or Nothing and then Jericho wins, that's fine. The key match to me is I think you want to get Jericho and Swerve in the ring together because that's the match that's never been done before. Jericho's a babyface, Swerve just went heel. To me, that's a natural program, but you don't rush into that. Like, that would have been insane to announce that this week for Dynasty. That would have been stupid.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think even Double or Nothing would probably be too soon for it. To me, that's going to be that first really big match, or that should be his first really big program when they're ready for it, I think would be him and Swerve. But he'll have to get that win back at some point over Ricochet before that happens.
Yeah, it does fit into the narrative of Swerve as well. Not only is he a heel, but he's obviously still wanting that world championship. And you have Jericho and the status that he holds in this company being the first world champion and someone of just a huge name coming back in and again stealing a spot from one of the main event guys. And Swerve is not going to be very appreciative of that. So it's an easy story to tell. I would absolutely wait till Wembley to do that. I won't even wait till I don't do it at Double or Nothing or Forbidden Door. I wait till Wembley.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you take your time and build. We don't even know when Swerve is going to come back. We don't know when Swerve's coming back. We don't know when Hangman's coming back. They're both out right now. We have no idea when they're going to be back. So for all we know, maybe Swerve is still a couple months away from showing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be a Wembley match easily. But as far as this match, I thought they had a very good match. I thought Jericho, again, he's 55 years old. Has not worked a match in a year. It's not like he was out there doing indies. And I thought he looked good.
Yeah, I said this today with the coach. Normally, this match went 14 minutes. Normally, at someone or with someone that age, at 55 years old, they're probably gassed in like the first 4 or 5 minutes. Jericho looked great by the time the match was over. So he got himself into great shape. He looks great for 55 years old. He's still doing all the hits, Lion Salt, and he's got all his signature moves down packed. I thought he did fantastic. I was very happy with him. If he could stay this way, and like you said, the last couple of weeks we talked about this, in moderation with him, I think this will be a successful run for him. And I hope that it is because I'm a fan of Jericho, and I don't want to see him get shit on like he got shit on with the Learning Tree stuff. In moderation with him is the best way. So hopefully
sporadically.
Yeah.
Sporadically. I mean, otherwise, he's not going to be special anymore.
No.
You'll expose him. He's going to run through all the people that you would want him to work with. And it's like, well, then what?
Yeah.
People are going to get sick of him again. They're going to, please retire. It's going to be the same thing all over again. So like you said, in moderation makes sense.
So Jericho loses. I wonder if that's going to lead into a story with him at some point, but Ricochet definitely needed a win. I mean, he was just kind of knocking on that door of like, okay, where do I go here? So we got a nice win over Jericho. Andrade, he went one-on-one with Darby Allin. This was actually a very good match. I knew it would be. Both guys are great. Andrade's incredible. It was nice, Jason, to see Darby Allin actually wrestle a professional wrestling match. Yeah, he still did his crash test dummy stuff out there, and he bumped like he usually does. But I got really tired the last several weeks, especially wrestling the Dogs and him kind of teaming with the Conglomeration and that casket match with Gabe Kidd. He was out there just crash test dummying it up all over the place. It was just like 90% offense on the other guy, and then Darby wins with a fucking come out of nowhere fluky win, or he does a big move or a code red or something like that and gets a win. He's getting beat up most of the match. It was nice to see him wrestle an actual wrestling match against one of the best guys on the planet in Andrade. Darby ended up winning. Now, the whole thing here was that Andrade Don Callis rather, took money from MJF because MJF wanted Darby out of the title picture. And Don Callis appointed Andrade to go and do this favor for MJF. And Andrade is like, I don't want to take Darby out. I don't want his money. I want the world championship. I should be going after the world title. So that was the story coming in here. And Darby Allin ended up winning this. And it ended up being a very, very good match. What'd you make of this?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good match. You mentioned Darby just seems to always kind of get a fluky win. That's how he wins all of his matches, dude. I would say like 85 to 90% of Darby Allin's matches are him getting some sort of flash pin, the Last Supper, a roll, something like that. He hardly wins matches decisively, I would say.
Well, he's got a good finish. I mean, I don't know why they just don't kind of switch it up every now and then.
Well, I mean, again, that's just how he does it. And so we had the same thing here. And Andrade was shocked. He couldn't believe he lost. The key was when the match was over, he shook hands with Darby. So you couple that with his hesitation to even take this match in the first place, and you can kind of get a sense that maybe he's not long for the Don Callis family. Because I feel like people want to cheer for him anyway. He's just cool. People, I think they'd rather cheer for him than boo him anyway. And man, again, if they do a Dynamite at Arena Mexico and they have him primed and ready to go as like a babyface, and he walks in there to challenge for that world championship, I'm telling you, man, that is the place and the time to do it. And you're going to have an entire crowd of people that are going to be rallying behind him in a way that we've never seen before.
Yeah, I forgot that you had mentioned that a few weeks back. I think that's the right place to do it. That's a great idea. MJF would have to be the champion for that to happen, and I don't like these rumors that I'm hearing. But yeah,
no, he will.
He will. I know. We'll talk about these Darby rumors that some people in the IWC had started, and I don't like what I'm hearing. But he is the number one contender.
Yeah, I think there's definitely. I think something's definitely happening. But to your point, I think by the time we get there, yes, MJF will be champion.
I just don't see the sense of switching things up and being that brash about it going into Double or Nothing. Consider
what week it is. I want to make headlines.
Bro, there's not going to be any stealing of headlines here.
No, but...
We might as well talk about it now because I talked about this.
Well, look, I
fucking hate it. I don't like it.
Darby Allin won the match.
Yes.
And the idea is that by virtue of winning this match, he's in line for a shot at the AEW World Championship. So he would wrestle either MJF or Kenny Omega, whoever came out of the main event as the champion, which of course we now know was MJF. And look, that was always going to be the match because there's history between those two. And to do Kenny Omega and Darby Allin with Darby as like the babyface underdog against somebody the fans genuinely love, to me just doesn't make any sense. So we now know that match is official for tomorrow night on the Spring Breakthrough episode. They're doing it. They're not waiting until Double or Nothing, which I think there's a reason for that. They're doing it tomorrow. And they're going to be in Everett, Washington. And I think Darby's from Seattle. So they're going to be right in his backyard. His people are going to be there. And I think, if you ask me, what do I think is going to happen on Dynamite tomorrow? And I have an even better reason why this is going to happen, because we're not going to be around. So we're not going to be able to go live to talk about it when it's over.
I'm sure all of our 1,200 viewers on Wednesday night are going to be really upset about that. But go ahead.
I think that we are going to get a new AEW World Champion tomorrow. I think MJF had to retain that title on Sunday to get to this match. And I think that Darby Allin is going to win the championship tomorrow, with the idea that when they come back home to where MJF is from in New York at Double or Nothing, he gets the belt back there.
That's a fucking awful idea.
And my issue with it is really just this. My issue with it is, to me, Darby Allin has never felt colder than he does right now. Like, there was a period of time where they really built him up. He was that underdog guy, and he was gunning for Jon Moxley. If he didn't go away, for a few months, that would have been him in that spot. But it wasn't. He made that choice, and they went in a different direction. And ever since he's come back, you mentioned the Dogs and Gabe Kidd, and he's been kind of milling around with those guys, and he just hasn't recaptured whatever magic he may have had before. So he feels cold, and if they do that tomorrow, it's just not an ideal time, I think, to put the belt on him. But I always, in my mind, if Darby ever won the world title, I never envisioned him having a long run with it. Like, I would have expected him to win the championship and lose it fairly quickly, thereafter. So to me, it lines up. If you were to win the belt tomorrow and only have it for 5 or 6 weeks, that sounds about right. That sounds about what I would have expected for a Darby Allin title run.
Yeah, but it should have made sense. Like, I understand, like, giving him 4, 5, 6 weeks of a title run, great. But you're giving him 4, 5, 6 weeks now going into Double or Nothing for a title run. And like you said, he's ice cold. So it's like, why?
Well, he's ice cold. He's ice cold to me. I mean, it's not like he's not going to get cheered if he wins the championship, especially being in Washington. Like, if he wins that title tomorrow, I think everybody will celebrate, and it'll be this big moment, and there'll be confetti and everything else. It'll be like Luger beating. Now, again, people are going to freak out with me using this analogy. I'm just using it as an example. Okay, don't jump down my throat here. I'm not comparing Darby Allin to Lex Luger, but.
Oh, man.
When you have a title, like a surprise title change on TV, and this big celebratory, babyface moment, like, this has happened before. It happened with Luger. It happened with Mankind in WWF. Like, let's not pretend we haven't seen examples of this before. I can't really think of one in AEW that would be the equivalent. I guess this would be it if it happens. And there is something to be said, to play devil's advocate. Like, if you want to shake things up a little bit, because everything's so predictable. We talk about predictability and things are boring. Well, MJF, he beat Brody King, and he beat Kenny Omega, and he beat Hangman, right? He's on a roll, this guy. He's full of himself. And think of the history between them, right? The first match they ever had together was Full Gear. And think of how he beat Darby in that match, right? He beat him with a side headlock takeover. I think he told him going into it that he was going to do it, and he did it. And then in the Four Pillars match at Double or Nothing a few years ago, they were 2 of the 4, and same thing. He beat Darby with a side headlock takeover. So in my mind, I'm looking at this match tomorrow, and I'm saying Darby's going to either beat him with a side headlock takeover, or MJF is going to use it on him, but this time Darby is going to do what Darby does, and he's going to reverse it and get like a flash pin and win the title. And you could play off of that history together, and the fans will go crazy for it. Maybe they'll even pop a rating over it. It's not like it's a killer for MJF, because then we get 6 weeks of him absolutely just losing his mind. He cannot believe that he lost the championship to, of all people, Darby Allin. And maybe we see a new dimension to his character. And now he goes into New York, not as the champion, he goes in as the challenger. And he has to win the belt back. But as long as he wins the belt back, I don't have too much of an issue with it. It's not like, to me, this would be so fucking terrible. It's not terrible. I just wish Darby was in a position where, if they're going to do this, he was hotter than he is right now. Because he's just not right now.
I've never been a proponent of, let's change something that's completely not broken at all. I look at it like, I always kind of correlate it to music. You look at Metallica. Metallica is a great example because everybody knows Metallica. You go from Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. And then you give us the Black Album. Now, Black Album was great. You go from Black Album to fucking Load and Reload. And then you go into Saint Anger. It's like, what the fuck? Like, they don't even feel the same. They don't look the same. They don't sound the same. You don't fix what's not broken. Like, you alter it, but you don't completely fix it. Like, they're not broken right now. MJF has said it himself, and I think a lot of the people in the IWC and the wrestling community agree the World Championship title picture is the strongest that it's ever been with him at the top. The competition's never been hotter for MJF and people chasing the World Championship. To put it on Darby Allin, in my opinion, and to see all the wrestling journalists go out there and kind of regurgitate the same thing. Oh, I have a feeling that Darby Allin's going to win the World Championship on Wednesday. They're only doing that because people in AEW told them to generate interest for Wednesday's Dynamite because there's a title change coming on Wednesday. And I don't agree with it. And people are citing, well, they want to steal some thunder away from WWE during WrestleMania week. Pat McAfee's going to show up on Friday, and he's going to stink up the joint, and he's going to deliver another fucking fail of a promo, and everyone's going to be talking about how terrible Pat McAfee is, and nobody's going to be talking about Darby Allin winning the World Championship because they took it off their hottest guy. Now, another reason I don't like it, Jason, is because Everett, Washington, I think Darby's from Seattle. You said it's in his like backyard, the shadow of his hometown. It's a hometown crowd, a hometown moment. So you're going to give it to Darby in his hometown. Then you're going to have MJF travel a double or nothing in Queens and win it in his hometown to have a third title reign. For him to do what? Hold it for June, July. We got Forbidden Door. I don't know who his opponent would be for Forbidden Door. It could be an AEW talent. It could be a New Japan talent. We don't know. But then you're starting to build into the Owen and go into Wembley. And then you're going to give Will Ospreay his hometown moment at Wembley to beat MJF in front of 50,000 people. So we're doing hometown, hometown, hometown. It's like the way Tony's booking it, it's like, bro, the more you do something, the less impactful it's going to be. Everyone's going to be winning the title in their hometown over the next 3 or 4 months. It's kind of ridiculous to me.
I don't see the issue with it. I mean, it's not like it's some sort of like regular occurrence. I mean, if it works out that way, then it works out that way. But I just feel like I'm looking at it and going, okay, I wish I could be more into Darby Allin right now to where it's like I actually want to see him as the world champion because I really don't have any desire to see him as the world champion. But I also look at it and go, you know what? This is not a terrible idea. This doesn't bother me, provided that they put the belt back on MJF at Double or Nothing. And they also, if they could create some sort of story around it, it could potentially make him a little more interesting as well. You know, going into Double or Nothing instead of MJF coming out and doing, you know, all the usual stuff that MJF does. Maybe it adds a new dimension to his character because, again, he cannot believe that he lost this championship to this fucking guy of all people. Now, if he gets the belt back at the end of May and then holds it until the end of August, so what? So what? One of the things that I actually think has made wrestling worse and has made wrestling, frankly, more boring in the last few years, and this goes back to the Roman Reigns run, is this, and we hear it all the time, this person's been champion for 200 and something days, 500 and something days, right? And when you have a lot of that, it feels like we've had a lot of that in recent years, dude, that's fucking boring. Now, I'm not saying return to the era of Crash TV where we have, I mean, look at the trios titles in this company. The trios titles have changed hands 5 times since the beginning of this year alone. Like, they mean nothing. Not that they meant anything before, but they really mean nothing now. By and large, Tony Khan has protected the world title. He doesn't really hotshot the world title around, I wouldn't say. But if they took the belt off MJF for 6 weeks, put it back on him for another 3 months, that's fine. It's not like, oh my God, you know, you interrupted the title reign. Like, who cares if everybody has a year as the world champion? There is an argument to be made that that's fucking boring, and maybe it's not such a bad idea to shake things up a little bit every now and then, have a little interruption in the title run and create some sort of story around it.
Well, then it goes back to what you originally said. And I think I said this on Sunday when I did my review too. He's ice cold. Like if he was hot before he climbed Mount Everest and everybody wanted to see him, and then you take that Darby and put him in this situation, I don't think people have a problem with it.
I don't think people have I have an issue with it just because I wish that, again, it felt to me like he was hotter. I don't think the people in Everett, Washington tomorrow are going to have a problem with it if he wins the world title. And not just because it's Darby in his backyard, but because MJF is such a great fucking heel that I think he's good enough at his job to get people to really want to see him get smacked down and lose that belt. So I trust that it would get the reaction that, you know, AEW would hope for. I put it this way. I don't think if Darby wins, it's going to get like a mild reaction. Right? I'm pretty sure they would get the reaction they're looking for. It's just that in the weeks ahead, however many weeks he actually holds it, like I'm not expecting him to be some sort of big, difference maker business-wise, like MJF is. He's not going to be. But that's not really the point, right? They're not building around Darby. They're still building around MJF. I believe that. Even if he loses tomorrow, I still think the idea is to continue to build around him until the belt goes to Will Ospreay. I don't really think it changes what their long-term plan is here. But is it really that terrible if they take the belt off of him tomorrow to put it on Darby for a short period of time? It's not terrible. It's not terrible. Maybe it helps make things a little more interesting even.
Well, that remains to be seen. We'll see what happens on Wednesday night. We will not be live. I will not be watching the show at all tomorrow. We will definitely keep up with it on social media, as I'm sure we will hear about it if it does happen on Twitter.
You're staying back in your hotel room. You're going to be watching Dynamite. You're flying all the way out to Las Vegas to stay in the hotel.
Yes, I'm going to watch it via my VPN in the hotel room on my iPad.
That's right.
So Darby beat Andrade. He's the number one contender. We'll see what happens there. Tag team titles on the line. It was Cage and Cope against FTR. Are you shocked, Jason, that we didn't get a tag team title change here? I know you and I predicted that this would be it in Canada. Hometown guys winning. And FTR, again, squeezes one out here in extra innings. Still the tag team champions.
I was surprised, yeah. It felt to me like this would have been the time to do it. So I was surprised that they didn't do it in Vancouver. The fans were surprised. The fans were very disappointed in that finish. Copeland was just bleeding buckets all over the place after he got whacked in the face with the championship. I suppose I should have seen this coming, though, after the angle they shot last week when they attacked Christian's wrist, his hand.
Yeah, they Pillmanized his arm. But it still felt to me like, look, this is their match to lose. And the way they did some of the spots in the match also it kind of threw me off. I thought the way they kind of formatted or set the match up was also kind of smart, because sometimes they zigged instead of zagged, and it's like, okay, here we go. They're about to win the belts, and then Copeland just got beat. So, yeah, I mean, it didn't change the fact that I thought it was a very good match, but they want to prolong things a little bit longer. Like you said, maybe in New York City, they do a title change there. Maybe they wait a little bit longer. There's no doubt in my mind that no later than Wembley, Cope and Christian will have those belts. Yeah.
Like Tony Khan absolutely wants to put those belts on those two guys at least once.
Yeah.
He didn't get to do it with the Hardys. He's definitely going to want to do it with these two. It's coming. I think we know it's coming. I don't know that I really need to see them hold it for very long once it happens. But we know it's coming. It's just a matter of, does it happen in May or does it happen by the end of the summer? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it in New York or not, but I think, what you said before is accurate, that we're probably heading towards you said a ladder match.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Tony Khan wants to recreate modern day with Edge and Christian, with the Young Bucks and FTR, the ladder match that they had with the Dudleys, Hardys, and Edge and Christian back in the day. I think that's what he wants to do.
If that's the case, I mean, I don't know that Edge and Christian need to be in too many more ladder matches, but my only hope there is that Copeland does not do something stupid off of a ladder the way he did in a cage when he wrestled Malachi Black.
Yes, you physically saw his injury happen right before our very eyes, midair, before he even crashed through the table. Yes.
Leave that to the Bucks.
Yeah,
and FTR, and please don't die.
No, we don't want to see that. We love him. This one broke down at the end, and Stokely got involved. There was a steel chair involved. Cage ripped it away. Stokely grabbed it. Cage was posted and thrown over the timekeeper's table, so he got taken out. FTR had bloodied Copeland, like Jason said, and apparently he got busted open hard way. Now, he got hit with the championship, and he was bleeding buckets. So he takes a super kick. FTR mocks the Young Bucks because obviously that's what they've been doing. FTR trigger. Copeland hits a double spear. Wheeler dodges a spear. FTR hits a shatter machine, and they pin Cope. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Post-match, Wheeler was walking up the aisle with Dax, and Copeland was shocked as referees and officials helped him up as he was bleeding all over the place. So I'm assuming this is going to continue. How it does, we will see. Double or Nothing is the destination. Casino Gauntlet. This was for the vacant TNT title. We had Tommaso Ciampa and Roosh starting off number 1 and 2. All I will say about this, Jason, is I feel every time Tony is backed into a corner and he needs to do something, he usually goes with the tried and true gauntlet match. Now, I don't know how anybody else feels. I don't know how you feel. I feel like with the gauntlet matches, one time a year is pretty much where I want to be with them. We see tag team gauntlet matches. We see TNT gauntlet matches. We saw a national championship gauntlet match at Full Gear. It's like, bro, give it a rest already. Full Gear was hopefully the last one I was hoping to see before we got to Wembley. I think save it for Wembley. That opens it up to have a little bit more of a larger field, a surprise here, surprise there, major return, a big signing, showing up at the biggest show of the year. And it would be for the number one contender for the AEW Championship. If he still wants to run that gimmick or not, I don't know. But I would absolutely save it for Wembley and just not do it anymore across the rest of the year. But here he is doing it again, and it didn't really even feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, he did it because there was an injury and they didn't really have any other backup plan on what to do. So I don't think this was something. I don't know that we would have seen another one of these for a while were it not for the injury. So, it didn't bother me that much. It's not like this was the plan all along. So I agree. The more you do of them, the less fun they seem to be. But in this case, I'll give him a pass because, again, this was not something anybody wanted. I mean, the Fletcher injury is just fucking awful.
He could have took a page out of Triple H's playbook. He could have did a series of triple threat matches across the next 4 weeks of Dynamite with a fatal four-way happening at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, but I don't think that his goal is to be more like WWE.
I'm just saying there are other ways to do it a little bit
opposite,
bit differently.
That's not differently. You're literally picking the same
it's different
formula.
For AEW.
Well, no, I don't need to see them being more like WWE. If you want to come up with a completely different concept, that's fine. But let's not do the triple threat into this and that. The little triple threat tournaments they do. Leave that to Levesque. As far as the match itself, I know there were people floating Jay White's name, and I never really expected anything like that because, again, this just came together on such short notice. It's not like, I mean, if Jay White was ready to come back, then they would already have an idea for him.
Well, I would have put him in the main event. Everyone in this fucking TNT title match.
So, I mean, it's not like, we have to do a gauntlet all of a sudden. Hey, Jay, come over here. Like he's just standing around in the corner like a video game cutscene or something. I did my predictions on the sound off on Sunday, and I picked Kevin Knight to win. I didn't even know if Kevin Knight was in it. But it just felt to me like this would be a good moment with all the attention that Tony put on him so far on TV this year coming out of that Continental Classic. He clearly is high on him. And they had just lost the trios titles the night before. And just felt to me like, you know what? I know it was on a heel, and maybe he wants to stick to a heel. I don't know. But like, this would be a good spot for Kevin Knight. And then he won. And I was very happy because I said, this makes sense to me, right? You're pushing the guy. Well, why don't you actually put him in a position where he can actually win a championship and then he can, defend it on television? So he's got the TNT title. He's already got his first defense lined up against Claudio for Dynamite tomorrow night. It looked like Speedball, so to set up the finish here, Speedball was trapped in a Dragon Tamer by Daniel Garcia. And Kevin Knight came off the top with a UFO splash onto both men, and he pinned Garcia to win the title. And it looked like after the match, Speedball wasn't too happy about that. So it seems to me like they may be setting up a Kevin Knight Speedball kind of friendly exhibition for the title at some point. I like the idea of putting the belt on Kevin Knight. I think Kevin Knight is great. I think he's one of those young guys like a Kyle Fletcher who they could potentially build around for something bigger. And this was exactly, the kind of opportunity that somebody gets hurt. Injury presents opportunity, and sometimes you step in, you take somebody else's spot, and you run with it. And I think that could be what this is for Kevin Knight. So I liked it. Kevin
Knight, I think, needs a little bit of a character tweak. I don't know how anybody else feels about Kevin Knight. Great wrestler, really athletic. Tony Khan obviously loves him and is very high on him. I would absolutely do something risky with him, turn him heel. Hurt Syndicate's looking for a new member. Have him join Shelton and Bobby. Put him in the Hurt Syndicate.
So the people that the fans like, we're just going to turn them heel?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
It would add a nice layer to his character. He needs something more. Like how many times can you go and run the same Kevin Knight match over and over again before it starts to get boring?
I don't know that I would be doing that right now, but I could see that maybe eventually as a direction for him. I would be doing that right this minute, though.
All right.
Maybe wait until he loses the title, and that could be the catalyst for an attitude change.
To who? Tommaso Ciampa, who apparently is never going to see that title ever again.
He could lose it to Speedball, and that could be the end of their tag team.
Could.
And then he ends up in the Hurt Syndicate.
Could. I could see that. Yeah, so this was, how many people were in here? 10. There was only 10 at 10 of the, I guess there's no number. It just goes on infinity until someone wins the match. But Kevin Knight wins. He's the new TNT champion. And you said he's wrestling Claudio on Wednesday. How did that come about? Another open challenge?
I don't know. I didn't see the scrum, but apparently I guess I think it might have been announced at the scrum. I just know that it was added to the lineup. I don't know how. I don't know why. Beats the hell out of me.
Just another great wrestling exhibition on Wednesday.
We're the best wrestle. JD, we're the best wrestle.
I'm aware. Speaking of the best, right now Tekla is the best. She's the AEW Women's Champion. She went one-on-one with Jamie Hayter. I thought this was better than the match that Tekla had with Stat at Revolution. I'll give it that. The only thing that I had a problem with here is a lot of the women's programs on AEW television, they don't really, Jason, have a lot of oomph. There's no story, really. I guess no story is not fair to say. I guess there's just very little effort put into the story to actually make you care about a match like this, because Jamie Hayter, they do have history. Jamie Hayter was the one who was taken out by Tekla when Tekla made her first debut on AEW television. And they've been going back and forth in this kind of women's drama with the Sisters of Sin and Tekla. The whole blood and guts match surrounded this. So now we're getting a one-on-one match here. But I tried to figure out what Jamie Hayter even did to deserve an opportunity, number one, and what the real reason was as to how all this came about. Even though it was a decent match, there was just no reason to care at the end when Tekla retained the championship.
Yeah, I mean, we're just in a waiting mode right now until Mercedes comes back. I mean, I just feel like that's going to be the ultimate direction here. I thought she would show up maybe at the end of the match.
Me too.
And just confront Tekla, and that wouldn't immediately lead to anything, but it would kind of give you a sense of, heading into the summer where things are headed. I still fully expect her to be back on TV very soon. Yeah, who knows? Maybe TV this week. And that's going to be the direction. They just need people for her to beat. And Jamie Hayter is a former world champion. They mentioned that on commentary. And so she was somebody credible who could go in there. And look, Hayter hits hard, and she was doing that in this match. They were both hitting each other hard. And I wasn't a fan of the finish. I thought the finish was just fucking awful. I liked the match well enough, but I thought the finish was terrible. I mean, I know it's a heel doing heel things, but still. And so now she's been vanquished. I don't know who is next. Did she already wrestle Alex Windsor? She didn't wrestle her yet, did she?
Tekla, no.
Okay. Well, Windsor got a win over Marina Shafir. That could be where they're going now. She beat Hayter, and they're going to build up Alex Windsor maybe for a title match with Tekla. I don't know if that would be the pay-per-view match. That could be a TV match. And they're just going to keep feeding people to her, I think, until Mercedes comes back, and they start that story where Mercedes, I think, ends up in the Owen and ends up challenging for the world title. And this time she'll actually get the win. I think that long-term is where they're headed, but you need women for Tekla to work with in the meantime.
Yeah, right now it's very slim pickings there. They got a great division. I don't know why it would be slim pickings. They just got to build somebody up to be a credible opponent with some story behind it. But it seems like
somebody has to just step up. I mean, I was surprised they didn't go with another Mina match. The way that last match ended, Mina got punched in the face with Nux, and the referee didn't see it. If anybody would have a claim to a rematch, it would have been her. Maybe they go back to it. I don't know. It feels like Mina's old news now as far as that goes. But look, they have no shortage of women to choose from. You just got to build them up for the spot.
The best part of this match, in my opinion, was after the match was over and Tekla rolled to the outside, Jamie Hayter was caught on camera, clear as day, saying, "You motherfucker, I'm going to fucking kill you." That was the best part of the match to me.
Yeah. I mean, she's she loves dropping that F-bomb, man. Every other word.
Love Jamie Hayter, man. Love Jamie Hayter. That was Tekla retaining. We'll see what happens with the Women's Championship. Jon Moxley, he defended the Continental title against Will Ospreay. Now, we were unsure if it was a 20-minute time limit, a 60-minute time limit. I was looking at my clock at this point in the show. I'm like, 20-minute time limit. There you go, man. Let's get out of here in a nice, quick fashion. But this, I was surprised that it. Well, I guess I'm not surprised because the Continental Championship and the rules surrounding the title are there's nobody outside, so nobody could realistically interfere. I all thought that, or we all thought rather, Will Ospreay was going to end up winning the championship because it's his first pay-per-view back in 6-7 months.
I didn't think that.
Some people did.
I had Moxley winning this match.
All right, Moxley ended up winning the match. Good.
I laid it all out for you last week. I said
Yes,
Moxley wins this match, right? And then you run this back in the finals of the Owen, or you could do it at double or nothing. But I like the idea of doing it in the finals of the Owen.
Sure.
Because he doesn't need the Continental title.
No.
So if he beats him there, what he gets out of it is a shot at the title that actually matters. That's why I like that idea.
Well, how long do you think this Ospreay, United Empire, and Death Riders thing is going to go on? You think this kind of bleeds into Forbidden Door?
Yes.
You think we get a blood and guts match with these two teams?
I don't know about blood and guts. I mean, you're talking November. They had blood and guts in November, didn't they?
Oh, did they? I forgot about that. Yeah.
Hey, then November. You're asking me to book out a blood and guts match in November.
Well, I don't know.
I'm
Usually
sure
it happens in June. I don't know.
No, last year it happened in November.
All right, that was the one time out of 7 years that it happened in November.
Let's assume it will not happen again until the fall. I'm sure this will be well over with by that point.
Okay, good.
Ospreay should be the champion by that point.
Good. I would much rather this be over first before we start talking about Ospreay being the champion. This was fine. Moxley has turned out some really great matches. I'm not going to sit here and lie to everybody. Moxley's had very, very good wrestling matches. This one, though, Jason, I didn't really care. Looking at that main event on Dynamite on Wednesday with the United Empire and Callum Newman came in and the United Empire came out there. I'm like, bro, you're just throwing people at the wall here for everybody and asking people to care about them. Like, I don't care about any of these guys. First time on television. I know they're probably just going to get affiliated with everybody because Forbidden Door's coming up and it's an early setup for that, which is fine. But Ospreay and Moxley here, I would be okay if Will Ospreay was never dropped on his head ever again. Like, all I heard was Meltzer saying that he's going to tone his style down, he's going to change this, he's going to change that. Meanwhile, he gets a spike pile driver on the steel steps. I hated the ending of this match. I thought this match was fucking awful. The ending of this was fucking awful. He took a spike pile driver on the steel steps. He then took two of Moxley's finishes, and then he finished him off with a full-blown Death Rider. Paradigm shift, two paradigm shifts, and then Death Rider. And Ospreay kicked out of the two paradigm shifts after the pile driver, only to be finished by the Death Rider. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here, bro? Like, what an awful ending. Like, the pile driver spot should have ended it. He just dropped the guy on his fucking neck after he had fusion neck surgery, and you're asking me to enjoy the ending of him getting dropped on his neck three or four times? I'm like, just stop it. I can't stand to see it anymore.
Well, that's what they do. I mean, look at the card, up and down the card with all the how many near falls were there? Like, and I mean near falls after.
I lost count.
I mean near falls after like finishers and big moves. The problem is it's not just the main event matches, dude. It's from the first match on down through the bottom of the card. It's like the opening match. This stuff was happening in the opening match on the card. And so after a while, it's like, is there really a need to do this in every single match on the show where you have these big dramatic kickouts after so many big moves? That's my big gripe with it. Like, that should not be happening in like the first half of the show.
It's numbing.
It just shouldn't happen there. And that way, if you do it in, let's say, the last like 2 or 3 matches in the card, theoretically, it might mean more. It's still ridiculous. I mean, taking that pile driver on the steps, he gets back into the ring immediately. I think he got stomped. And then again, 2 paradigm shifts. He kicked out. Then the Death Rider finally puts it away. Was it overkill? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But it was the decision that I expected because I just felt like he didn't need that championship. And when the title was put on the line, I said, well, I think Moxley's winning. If the title wasn't on the line, I probably would have gone with Ospreay. But once I knew this was a title match, I said he's got to be losing because it just doesn't make any sense to put the Continental title on this guy. Now, you brought up Callum Newman and United Empire. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up turning on Ospreay.
Really?
I don't know if you saw, there was a backstage promo. I might have been on social media, but they had Ospreay in the back. This might have been after last week, and he was with the members, Hanare, and he was with Francesco Akira, and Callum Newman was there with the IWGP belt, and he introduced each one of them. It was like a better introduction than we got on television to who these guys are. And when he got to Callum Newman, he's like my little brother. And like I'm looking at the look on Callum Newman's face, I go, oh, this fucking guy's turning on him at some point.
Well, didn't he do the same thing to Kyle Fletcher?
He's getting did he call him little brother? I don't know. But he literally little brothered him. And I could see there being an IWGP title match at some point. I don't know, when is Forbidden Door? Do we know when Forbidden Door is this year?
I have not looked it up. I'll look it up right now. Let's see. I know there was a report. You mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that because I did read a report that Will Ospreay will be wrestling in New Japan a little bit more often this year. So you may be correct there.
Yeah, but I was just going to say maybe that could even be a Forbidden Door match.
Yeah.
You know, if there's an IWGP title match, let's say they do turn on him, I could see Newman and Ospreay for the IWGP belt. Newman would have to win though. Because
there's no date announced yet. It just says summer of 2026. So I mean, it's got to be either June or July.
Okay. Well, I think it's a possibility.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that. Moxley retains. I did like the way the match started off because of the way that it was built up over the last couple of weeks. There was an immediate hidden blade right at the bell.
Well, that's the other thing, dude. How many hidden blades did he hit in that match?
A lot.
It was part of the story, too, because Excalibur's like, his arm is hurt because he was throwing so many of them.
Yeah.
So he was just spamming them, like, over and over again. Yeah, I mean, they just went overboard with stuff. The work itself was fine, but they just go overboard, too much with some of this stuff.
We had the Trios titles. Dogs lost the Trios titles after winning them on Collision, so they had them for less than 24 hours. They lost the Trios titles to Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and a returning Kyle O'Reilly. At this point, I got up, and I don't remember what I did, but I probably put the extra dishes that were left in the sink in the dishwasher, and then I came back, and it was miraculously over.
Did you walk the dog? You don't even have a dog.
I don't have a dog.
I think JD, when this match started, he left his house and found someone else's dog to go walk instead of watching the dog.
I walked my imaginary dog, and I pretended I had something at the end of my leash. And just
he bought one of those leashes that nothing at the end of it, but you just sort of walk it.
Nothing.
And what you missed is that Gabe Kidd got hurt in the first 60 seconds of this match. And it looks like I think he had his shoulder popped out is what happened. So
well, didn't he say he popped his shoulder back in?
I think he did, but that's not how it works. Like once it pops out, you're going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
And sometimes it depends how severe it is. Sometimes people end up needing surgery. I mean, hopefully that's not, the case with him. But yeah, so he was gone right away. Like they helped him through the crowd to the back, and it basically turned into a handicap match. And I'm looking at this and I'm just like, okay, has there ever been a group or a trio that has been introduced in this company that has been booked worse than the Dogs? Like David Finlay had some buzz around him when the reports leaked about him being a free agent. He might leave New Japan. Does WWE want him? Does AEW want him? There's going to be like a sweepstakes for him. And he chose AEW and he reunites with his buddies. And man, this group is just dead in the water. Forget the Gabe Kidd injury. We don't even know how long he's going to be gone for, but this group is just dead in the water. And so they put the trios belts on them on Saturday. And then immediately they announced they're going to be defending those titles the next night. And I'm like, well, surely they're not going to take the belts off these guys. They just won them the night before, right? Or technically Wednesday. I guess they taped it.
Yeah.
And then they fucking lost. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe maybe they called an audible because of the Gabe Kidd thing. But evidently, no. The plan all along, no matter what, was for them to lose those championships at Dynasty.
Tony Khan called this his most favorite Canadian AEW moment of all time, watching Kyle O'Reilly win the trios titles.
It was certainly a moment that happened on the pay-per-view.
Yes.
It was a moment that happened.
A moment I missed. Sorry.
The Dogs have been put down.
Yes. They are insufferable television, chat. I don't know how anybody else feels about the Dogs. This is MFT Wyatt 6 level bad.
Yes.
Make it go away. I wish I could snap my fingers and just have it go away.
Just the lantern is missing.
Just the lantern. And this is what Darby has been doing for the last 3 months, which is now you know why I feel so indifferent to Darby Allin potentially winning the title on Wednesday. So yeah, new Trios championships. They beat Jet Speed and Mystico. The Dogs only dropped them to the conglomeration here on Sunday. And then the main event, finally. We got this main event happening. It started a little bit after 11:30, and I said, well, these guys...
11:38 p.m.
These guys... you watched it live. You just didn't go live.
Yes, I watched it live. I said I was watching it live.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe you tapped out before this match. I don't know.
I kind of wanted to, but I said I've made it this far on my journey, and I paid for this.
Yes.
So
yes,
I'm gonna get my money's worth here.
Well, it's not an AEW main event if it doesn't go 40 minutes. So that's
this one, 38 minutes. This ended at 12:17 a.m.
Right.
And again, it was the same. It fell victim to the same thing. We talked about it in the Ospreay and Moxley match, where it's just they're very self-indulgent when it comes to some of the stuff that they do in these big main event matches. And you look at it and go, truthfully, would this match have been any worse if you shaved 10 to 12 minutes off?
And I said the same fucking thing on my review Sunday. What difference would it have made if this match went 25 minutes instead of 39 minutes? How much of a difference would it have made?
We're coming off a 45-minute Texas death match at Revolution. There was no reason. There was no need. This one didn't even have a stipulation. There was no reason for this to have to go 38 minutes. It did not have to go that long.
You know, I'm curious to see what you thought of. This was a great match. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're complaining about the length of the match, and it could have been short, and it was still a great match. To me, this was my favorite match of the entire night, outside the tag team match that opened the show. I'm curious to see what you think about this because MJF and Kenny wrestled several years ago on Collision. Great match. They weren't given as much time as they were here on pay-per-view, obviously. But that was a great match. I thought this one, it's tough to say which one was better. All because this one's longer doesn't necessarily mean this one's better. I felt like that one had something about it that just felt a little bit more of substance. This one was the
first time ever also.
Yeah. This one was great, but I would not put this one over their first Collision match. The thing that I would have changed here, and I'm shocked that MJF didn't really kind of go into this with a little bit more old school mentality. I felt like he did his usual stuff. He's playing up his heel. He goes outside. He's taunting the crowd. He takes a little bit of a powder outside. He gets back in the ring. He does his thing. But the diverticulitis angle and the stomach issue with Kenny didn't really come into effect until maybe the third quarter of this match. I felt like that should have been a focus of MJF early on. And they waited till about maybe the 20-minute mark to really start telling that story. And then Kenny selling the stomach and selling the diverticulitis aspect and then making a comeback with all those close calls with the one-winged angel off the top rope. Do you feel like maybe it could have been more of a focus up front instead of at the end?
I mean, it could have been, but they knew they were going 40 minutes. So if you do it right away, it gets old by the time you're 10 minutes into the match. What are you going to do? You're going to just, have him focus on the stomach for the full 38 minutes? So, I mean, I didn't have an issue with them holding off until a little bit deeper into the match before he kind of went after it. And it factored into the finish because he punched him right in the kidney with the ring.
Yeah.
And then that led to him giving him the tombstone off the apron through a table. And I'm watching that. I'm like, that better fucking lead to the finish.
Well, yeah.
And thankfully it did.
That was a nasty fucking tombstone, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And then it led to the Heat Seeker, and that was the end of the match. So, no, I mean, I didn't have an issue with them not immediately going to it because also Kenny had to have his moment to shine there in the opening portion. And then once MJF took over at that point, and then he makes the stomach the focal point. So, I thought all of that made sense. I just felt like there were a lot of near falls and a lot of stuff they did in kind of the middle, like real meat of the match that it could have been condensed. Just tighten it up a little bit, and it would not have harmed the match at all because it was a very good match. That was my only real issue with it. I really didn't think Kenny was going to get the belt. It didn't make sense to me. I mean, other than them being in Canada, it didn't really make sense to me to take the belt off MJF in this match to put it on Kenny. Kenny may get it at some point, but this just didn't feel like the moment for me. But when the show was over, I'm like, man, the balls on this guy. Because they went to Canada. And on this show in Canada, they had Kenny Omega lost, Cope and Christian lost, right? Just look at all of the heels that stood tall when this match was over. MJF retained, Tekla retained.
Jericho lost.
Jericho lost, FTR retained. I think I'm missing something else here. So he was like, Moxley. Moxley was the other one. Ospreay lost and Moxley won. So I'm like, hey, I wasn't expecting that. Like, boom, 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 all the heels would go over and these people would lose. But that's how it worked out. To me, though, it was a strong show on paper coming in. I think the matches that you would have expected to deliver largely delivered, but it didn't go off the air with any sort of big, like major angle. Oh my God, I got to tune in now to see what's going to happen on Wednesday. It was very like he beat Kenny, and that was it.
I don't know. Maybe somebody pissed in Tony Khan's poutine. I don't know.
Same thing with the Revolution. You know, I mean, they did that big Texas death match, and he beat Hangman, and he posed on top of Hangman's body as he was strapped to the gurney, and they went off the air, and they basically played it up the same way here. He beat him, and that was it.
Well, where does Omega go now? It was pretty clean, right?
Back to the bottom of the ladder. He's got to work his way back up, I guess.
I don't know.
I have to think the idea at some point is to put the belt on him as a babyface, right? The only time he was ever champion, he was a heel.
I thought maybe somebody would come into the match and screw Omega over, whether it was returning Jay White, maybe Chris Jericho, somebody. Nobody showed up.
No indication or hint of what his direction is going to be now.
Normally, the follow-up shows are not very good for Dynamite following a pay-per-view, but they got 2 big title matches tomorrow night. Darby's going after the World Championship against MJF, so MJF's putting the title on the line. Hopefully they turn that around because they are notorious for not really delivering the follow-up show to the pay-per-view. Good show. It just all feels the same. You know, they do it on Sunday night. It goes 4.5 hours. You're exhausted by hour 2. I mean, Tony would benefit a lot of people to move the show from 4.5 hours to 3.5 hours. I think that's the sweet spot. But, you know, even doing it on Saturday instead of Sunday, what happened to that? I mean, these changes I feel need to be made to make these shows feel better.
Well, not even that. If you just bump it up from 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. or something like that. Like WrestleMania this weekend starts at 6 o'clock each night, which I like that.
Yeah.
To me, that's great. And I mean, if Tony was to do the same thing where, okay, you want to still do it, let's say on a Sunday night, it's going to be a 4-hour show. Just imagine if it got bumped up by a couple of hours. You know, that can make all the difference in the world for some people. Some people don't care. Some people, they're like, I don't give a shit. You know, I don't got to wake up for work the next morning or whatever. Go 7 hours.
Oh, yeah, make it 7 hours. I'm a sicko.
But for a lot of other people, whether they're a content creator or not, like, it can be exhausting by the time you get to the end there. I don't envy MJF or any of these people that have the main event spot on these shows. It's hard enough to kind of go out there when you're in a main event, right? We got 2 WrestleMania main events coming up this weekend. I'm sure there's just a ton of pressure on you when you're in that spot. But imagine how much more pressure there is when you have to follow all of the shit that these guys have to follow, and you're going out there for your match and it's 11:35 at night. Like, I don't want to be in that spot.
Well, they had a great match. It went 39 minutes. I just wish Tony Khan would really listen to the criticisms of those that actually care about the product and maybe fix those pay-per-views. Less is more. Quality over quantity. You don't need 13 matches on a show. 7 or 8 really great matches with some stories is more than enough.
All right, now for saying that, JD, you've just earned yourself 4 additional matches at Double or Nothing next month.
Thank you. I can't wait.
Thanks.
Where do we want to go now? We got WrestleMania, obviously.
I think we need to go into WrestleMania because we should probably get some sleep before we
do.
Wait.
Yeah, we definitely need some sleep.
We got 2 nights of WrestleMania to talk about.
Yeah, I know. I'll start with this. This was something that I know you talked about. I didn't even hear your opinion on it, but his name is brought up a lot. We talked about this with the coach on my end on the 2 count today. Jim Ross said that Vince McMahon will be instrumental in WrestleMania's creative. Now, I don't know if JR is smoking something, or maybe JR is privy to something that none of us really know. Maybe he's talking to somebody with some really big sources. I don't know. But Jim Ross was asked whether he thinks McMahon is involved in creative for this year's WrestleMania. Now, he was talking about this on his Grilling JR podcast. He says, oh, yeah. He's not going to wait on anything. He's not going to. As John Wayne would say, my grandpa loved John Wayne. He had a big picture of John Wayne hanging up in the living room. We're burning daylight. Something's going to happen. And I believe that McMahon will have the will to contribute to this year's WrestleMania. That's the one great thing about pro wrestling nowadays. You get all this input, all this smoke, as we said earlier, and there's a lot of smoke out there right now. And I think through the haze that Vince McMahon will rise again to some level, and it just may be main events, it may just be titles or whatever, I don't know. But I can't see this much talk and speculation about Vince for there not to be something there. He may not be as active as I perceive that he might be, but I don't know. I just think he's going to be involved in WrestleMania in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And then he went on to say, no disrespect to Triple H's team at all. It's the fact that you got the most successful pro wrestling guy in the history who's available. And I think that you use whoever's available in the best way, like he's some fucking sort of free agent out there, the best way he can be used, and call it a day. See where it takes you. You know, a lot of people, Jason, we talked about this last week, kind of insinuated on it, that Vince's name has been in people's mouths a lot. And people, there is a large subsection of people that want him back running the show. I mean, I don't know where the fuck these people were 4 or 5 years ago and how awful it fucking was, but nobody wants to go back to that day and time ever again. What do you make of JR here? Does he know something that we don't? And could you see Vince McMahon somehow, after all this is gone and it's cleared, his name is clear with the Janelle Grant stuff, being welcomed back by Ari Emanuel? Because let's be real, Ari and Nick Khan, Triple H, with the text that we saw, they knew that he was going through all this nonsense with Janelle Grant, but still allowed him to conduct business and still run the show from the shadows. So why wouldn't they allow him back if he's free and able to?
I mean, with these people, look, anything's possible as far as would they do business with him again? Probably. Mark Shapiro's had breakfast with Vince McMahon. He's admitted that.
Yeah.
You know, birds of a feather. Look, his name has been brought up so many times, even indirectly on television and promos in recent weeks,
Yep.
that what JR says, or when he says that it seems to me like his name's been coming up a lot, there could be smoke to that fire. That's a perfectly rational conclusion to draw. Because I'm also wondering myself, like, what's going on here? Why are we getting so many, Vince mentions of late? It kind of worries me here. The idea of him being brought back and running creative or being brought back in some sort of active role in the company, it's just not going to happen. At the end of the day, I don't think it will happen. Could he be or end up feeding ideas to set, like you mentioned before, like when he's cleared of this? He's not going to be cleared of anything, dude. Like, this is a stain that will never go away, because the Janelle Grant stuff ends one of two ways. It either goes to arbitration and it gets settled quietly and not in the public eye, or the judge rules that they're going to go to trial, and then before it ever gets to trial, it will get settled. And that is how this is going to end. That does not clear him of anything. Like, there were scores of just horrendous allegations against him. And we're talking also multiple women over the years, multiple NDAs. The guy's a scuzzball. And he's toxic, no matter how successful he may have been. Look what happened when his name surfaced and it sounded like he was coming back, or he had come back or whatever. And then fans online were tagging all of their sponsors. And then I think it was Slim Jim. That was the first kind of domino to fall. And then boom, Vince was gone. It took one sponsor. And they didn't even pull out. They just paused their relationship with WWE. And then Ari and Mark Shapiro supposedly got on the phone with him, and they're like, you got to go. So you don't think that if word leaked that Vince McMahon is back, that people would not be just losing their fucking minds and tagging every sponsor that every partner that this company works with, and putting pressure on them to make sure that this man is as far away from this company as possible? What is to be gained? Like, business-wise.
Well, but can we trust them, though? I mean, they got Brock Lesnar plastered all over ESPN for night 2 in the opening match of WrestleMania.
Can we trust who?
Can we trust WWE? Like, the sponsors clearly don't give a shit that Lesnar's fucking opening the show on Sunday.
Well, but that's a difference. It's not exactly an apples to apples thing.
I know, but his name was attached into the fuck in the 50 different times in the lawsuit.
But this is. Well, there's been new information that came out more recently. But they're pretty well locked in with Brock right now, so they're not going to suddenly pull him, right before WrestleMania. But the stuff with Vince, I mean, that's far worse, and it's, there's a lot more of that out there to go through. I don't see the benefit whatsoever in bringing back somebody who, when Endeavor initially acquired WWE, like literally in the fine print of these financial disclosures, they had language indicating that Vince McMahon's presence was a potential liability for their company.
Mm-hmm.
That liability is not going to magically go away. So just from a business perspective, it doesn't make any sense to me, the idea of, well, okay, this case has been settled in some way. The civil case is over. We're free and clear. We need Vince. Vince is not needed. This idea that we need Vince back, bring back Vince, Triple H sucks, the product is boring. Yeah, you know what? The product may be boring and it may suck. That doesn't mean that Vince McMahon is the only person who's capable of doing this job. And frankly, he needs to be as far away from this company and this product as possible. If people are disillusioned with Triple H, or if one day the axe falls on him and he's gone, and we've talked about this, there are other people, not named Vince McMahon, that will step into that position. He is not needed. I'm tired of hearing his name constantly brought up. He's like the boogeyman that won't go away. I think Jim Ross even made the comment that, like, we're going to still be talking about this until this man is dead and buried in the ground. Like, he might come back. He's like a ghost. He's like fucking Michael Myers or something. You never know. He just doesn't go away. He's always going to be there. Like, the specter of him will always be there. But I see absolutely no benefit whatsoever in bringing him back. Zero. There is zero incentive to bring this man back. He brings nothing but liability to the table if you bring him back and associate him officially in any sort of official capacity with your company. I see nothing to be gained from this.
Now, listen, I can't say anything on top of what you added because I feel the same way. There are people out there that don't agree with you. Oh, we need him back. The product sucks. Okay, the product was infinitely worse in 2019.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's
wants
the
to
other
go
thing
back
about it. That's the other thing about this also. It's like, okay, if you wanted to ignore all of the other bullshit and all the NDAs and all, there's just so much stuff, and say, okay, we need Vince back, right? It's like you're ignoring years, like in recent years of WWE. Did I miss some sort of new golden age of this company that Vince ushered in? I mean, I know the Bloodline story turned into something that was really special, and there was like an idea here and there, and Vince may have started it or had his hands in it a little bit. But like, we went through some horrendous years, like creatively. This man's creative brain is fried. Like the Vince McMahon that people are like thinking back to, that person doesn't exist anymore. So why exactly are people clamoring for Vince McMahon to come back? These are the same idiots who, if he showed up on television, would bow to him. If they were in the building, they would bow to him if he came out to the ring. We know these people exist. Like, I can't take these people seriously. Like, forget those people for a second. Again, just from a business perspective, I can't imagine people sitting around a boardroom saying, okay, you know what I think we need to do today? Things are going great, right? Business is great. I think we should bring back Vince McMahon. Why? What's the benefit? What's the upside in that?
Nothing. There is nothing.
What is it, 1999? Like, what are we doing here? Man's fucking 80 years old.
80 years old. Nobody wants him on television.
80
Nobody.
80 years old and shitting on people. What the fuck are we talking about bringing him back into this company for?
We could be here for 4 hours, 5 hours, talking about fucking Vince McMahon and the terrible career that we've seen just in 2018, 2019 alone.
It's ridiculous.
All you need to
he's
know.
going to be some sort of magician. He's going to wave his magic wand and everything's going to be so great. It's going to be like a new golden age. Get the fuck out of here with this nonsense.
I don't know. The product certainly has. I don't know what's going on with the current product. We're seeing less and less pro wrestling on this show by the week. I don't think one match on Monday Night Raw went over 10 minutes. Some of the women's angles are fucking horrendously booked, as if Vince McMahon is actually booking them. It's almost like they're rolling out the red carpet and trying to appease him with his way of booking on these shows. I don't know. Some of the things that I see on television they don't add up. Like I blame Triple H for everything that we're seeing right now, but some of the things that he's done is just very Vince McMahon-esque. It's like it makes you wonder what the fuck's going on. Is something more going on that we don't know?
Yes, it does make you wonder.
Maybe Jim Ross isn't that far off.
Yeah, but I don't think he's plugged into anything that he knows in this particular instance. Yeah. Like I remember he made that comment about Royce Keys, and he thought maybe we would see him in the Royal Rumble, but I think he might have actually spoken to him, like on the phone. So like that's a little bit different. In this case, I don't think he's texting with Vince, and Vince is like, "Guess what, JR? I'm back." Like, I don't think there's any of that going on. I think JR is. You asked, is he smoking something? If you've ever watched any of the video of his podcast, the answer is yes.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yes.
He's got to relax in some way.
Usually cigarettes, but I think he might also sometimes partake in the other stuff as well.
Okay, good for him. Gotta find some way to relax. WrestleMania. We will kind of dip into certain things that happen on SmackDown and Raw throughout the discussion here. We'll start with Saturday night, which looks like it's the weaker of the two nights, even though it is a 7-match show on Saturday and a 6-match show on Sunday. As of now, we don't know if they're going to add Io and Asuka. They should.
They're not. It's over, dude.
I know. I'm still holding out hope.
You can hold out all the hope in the world that you want to. If they were going to add it, it would have been added last night.
Or maybe they had Tiffany Stratton and Julia for the United States title.
I doubt that very seriously. You're going to get your comedy with John Cena and Danhausen, and you're going to like it.
That's correct. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll start with Saturday. We'll start with some of the most unimportant stuff here. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed against the Usos and LA Knight. LA Knight fortunately made the card. He's still battling division, and now he's battling a YouTuber. That YouTuber is one of the most successful YouTubers on the platform. I think, Jason, the clip of I Show Speed recently with LA Knight and what happened last week on Raw, Michael Colson did almost 480 million views across their social media. Probably the most viewed clip in the history of WWE social media was this clip with I Show Speed.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why is he in the opening match of WrestleMania, you gotta learn how to speak the WWE language.
Yeah.
Like that's their love language.
Yeah, numbers.
Like they love that. Social engagements, impressions, like they live for that shit. And he's very popular. Like there's no denying he's very popular.
Oh, he's very popular. He's very athletic too. They showed a vignette on Raw last night with him kind of low-key training, and he was doing leapfrogs and a crossbody off the top rope, and he executed a body slam. So
he did a backflip off the top.
Yeah, backflip off the top rope. So I think he's going to show us a little bit of something. I don't think he's going to go in there and stink up the joint. It's just one of those matches that is catered for WrestleMania, and it's going to be one of them fun matches to kind of get all eyeballs on what they're doing on ESPN2 for Saturday night. I'm going to go with the Usos and LA Knight winning this match. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of going against the grain here because traditionally when there are celebrities involved at WrestleMania, they don't lose.
No.
But I tend to think that the Usos and LA Knight will win as well. Although, can you imagine the meltdown online if I Show Speed pins LA Knight in this match?
Yes, I can.
I can too. It's going to be a lot of very upset people. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
No. The Usos, by the way, they changed their theme music when they did that Madison Square Garden Raw to something that people completely shit all over. Then they changed it back to Jey Uso's theme the following week, only to now, which makes you wonder why this wasn't done in the first place, remixed it instead of it's only me Us, now it's us Us. So it's now us. Now it's their collective theme.
Yeah, but that was the new theme that they had a few weeks ago. It's just us Us. So they just brought back the new theme again?
No. It's Jey Uso's theme with a remix of the spoken word in the beginning.
Oh, I see.
It's not just me Us. It's now us Us. It's just Jey Uso's theme music with a different spoken word in the beginning.
What a radical change.
Well, why wasn't that change made 3 weeks ago? I don't know. They just changed the entire fucking thing and gave you a theme music that nobody knew. Like, who is this?
Of course, nobody knew it because it was brand new.
Yeah, but again, why do you change something that's not broken?
You can't have him come out to it's just me Us if they're back together.
Okay.
So they decided we're just going to have a whole new theme song, and I guess people complained, and so. I mean, I don't remember it being a terrible theme. I've heard some bad Def Rebel themes. I didn't think the new one was that bad. Were people really that upset with it?
Well, I guess I didn't really hear it enough to gauge if it was good or bad. But I guess
they only used it once.
Well, people thought it was bad because it wasn't Jey Uso's theme. That's why. I don't know.
Whatever.
Their theme music sucks. That's what it boils down to. When people saw Liv Morgan's music video was Def Rebel made, everybody's like, "Oh, of course it was." That's why it was so fucking bad.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay, so the Liv Morgan music video, honestly, like if she starts using that as her theme music, I think that's fine.
Sure.
I didn't really have an issue with it. To me, it was music in a video. I can't say that it was the worst thing I've heard. I can't say it was anything great. I'm sure people, when Shawn Michaels first started singing his theme song, I'm sure people at the time that were older than I was when I was a fan back then were like, this is fucking terrible. And this guy is still prancing out to his theme music here, 56 years later. He's still coming out dancing to Sexy Boy. So she sang her own theme song. Other wrestlers have done it. like whatever. It's I don't see that as being any
let's
big
be
deal.
real. Was anybody really listening to the theme music? No.
I was trying to get into the beat.
Oh, I didn't realize. At first glance, I wasn't even realizing that music was going on. I was just watching what was going on in the video.
It sounded AI to me.
It could be. It was very, very enhanced for sure.
It was, oh yeah, for sure. It was enhanced.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that sensational Sherry theme music for Shawn Michaels is goated. I don't know why anybody would choose Michaels singing his music over Sherry.
I like them both.
I thought Sherry's was better. They're great. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fine. Do you know, or did you know, that because some people think that at the beginning of the Shawn version of the music where you hear the girls, that was Sherry but like slowed down. Do you know whose voice that is?
Is that Jimmy Hart?
It is.
Why am I not surprised to know that? I mean, listen, a creative genius is that Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
So that's the 6-man tag team match. That is opening the show on Saturday on ESPN2. I was told, Jason, we're not supposed to mention ESPN proper because Michael Cole said ESPN proper about 7 or 8 times on Raw last night.
He said it many times.
We'll just say ESPN. That's what's going to happen on Sunday. So that's the opening match. The second match in the first hour on ESPN2 is going to be Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. This is an unsanctioned match. This has been going on for several months now. Drew McIntyre took the WWE Championship into the January 9th episode of SmackDown, only to lose it to Cody Rhodes. And do I have it backwards? What was that? The 3 stages of hell. Now, he won the title on January 9th, and then Cody won it several weeks ago.
March.
Yeah.
In March.
Yeah. So the point I was trying to make is Drew McIntyre is not walking into WrestleMania as the WWE champion, which is sad, seeing how everything has just kind of degenerated the way that it has with Pat McAfee, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. But I saw Drew McIntyre, Jason, recently say, in regards to his creative, that he is still trying to chase the dragon when it comes to what he did with CM Punk. Now, I thought that was a great feud. I thought there were many layers to that. A lot of interesting aspects. We went from Punk being injured, and if he didn't really get injured, I don't know where we would have gone with that. I mean, it all came about with Punk getting injured in the Rumble that year. Punk screwed him over every now and then, and it kind of gotten to a point where Punk came back. It was made about the bracelet and how important the bracelet was, and then it went into Hell in a Cell, and they gave us an old school classic Hell in a Cell match the way that it should be. He says he's chasing the dragon. What do you feel about his feud with Jacob Fatu, and how do you measure it up to what he did with CM Punk?
I mean, look, it's not the CM Punk feud. It hasn't gone on long enough, and it doesn't have that personal, that personal flair to it. So yeah, I think he's probably going to be chasing after something like the CM Punk feud for a long time. That's one of those special things that came along. Punk got hurt. Nobody could have predicted that. And they just turned, so like that wasn't even the original idea, but they turned it into something because he got injured. And then he was taking shots at him on social media, and like the stars aligned. And Punk obviously is great at throwing shots, right? And throwing bombs at the other guy. He was the perfect person for Drew McIntyre to play off of. Is there anybody else in WWE right now that he could play off of the way he played off of CM Punk? Because there aren't very many people that I could think of right now in wrestling, let alone in WWE. You can count them all on one hand who can match wits on the mic with CM Punk when he's motivated to go out there and, cut you down on the microphone, right? Not a lot of people like that.
I think Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre could really bring it to that level, but they really haven't explored that option yet.
Maybe, but it's not going to be the same as Punk.
No.
Roman is not Punk on the mic. So, and I'm sorry, Issa, I don't know where she is, but it's just the way it is. So I think he'll be chasing after that for a while. This feud, though, I still maintain it was not Drew McIntyre who will be credited at the end of all of this for having put Jacob on the shelf. That's going to be Randy Orton. I still going
with that, huh?
I'm going to get that reveal at some point. Yeah, because I think at some point coming out of WrestleMania in the months ahead, when we end up with a Randy Orton Jacob Fatu program, that's going to be the big reveal. It was me.
Oh, so Pat McAfee told him to do that too, huh?
Maybe Pat McAfee will get credit for it. We'll have footage of Pat McAfee kicking him.
Well, he stole the fucking title and put it on his show this week, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, maybe they'll give Pat McAfee credit for it. look, they're going to go out there. This is one of the matches on the list here that could potentially steal the night. You know, they have that potential in them to do that, and they're going to have the benefit of the stipulation, so they'll have all the plunder, and we'll get our Slim Jim tables, and we'll get all the usual, shit that you would expect in an unsanctioned match. So I think it's going to be very good. I'm going with Jacob Fatu for the win. I think that, look, I know Drew has fallen on bad luck. He was this close to going into Mania with the title, and it didn't work out. But I think Fatu should win this.
Yeah,
I think he will.
Yeah, I'm going Fatu as well. I mean, Drew is going off to film Highlander. His agent Nicola Piccolo says he's not going to miss any TV time for that, though.
Well, apparently he has been. I think PW Insider may have been the ones that had an update on this earlier today. He has been very covertly going back and forth in recent weeks filming. So it's not like he's going to first leave for 3 weeks and film. He's already been filming. He's just been going back and forth. Yeah. So I thought maybe he was going to be gone. I would have picked Jacob Fatu regardless, but I was under the same impression that after Mania he might disappear for a little bit. Yeah. That may not be the case, but I still don't think he's winning.
Now, how much plunder do you think will happen on ESPN2? You think they'll be able to go and do what they do for a typical unsanctioned match? I mean, are we going to get Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens at the Chamber type shit or no?
Dude, it's WWE. This is not AEW. If this was AEW, then yes, they would have to tone that shit down.
This is why I used the example of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at the Chamber last year.
Yeah, but what did Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn do that was radically bad? I think the belief was that Owens was supposed to bleed, but isn't that the rumor that he forgot the blade or something? And so
I don't know. I remember it being pretty fucking hard hitting. I thought it was brutal.
It was hard hitting, but it wasn't anything outrageous or anything like that. I think they had maybe a little bit of barbed wire that they brought in, but I mean, outside of that, was it really anything like, oh my God, put the women and children to bed?
No,
you're not gonna get that in WWE. So yes, dude, the people watching on ESPN, okay, they're gonna be just fine if they see Drew McIntyre fall comfortably through a Slim Jim table, if they see him get hit with a kendo stick. All WWE matches like this look the same. I think they'll probably end up doing some big stunt where maybe they end up in the crowd and they're on top of a bunch of equipment cases and they fall. I mean, they already fell off a fucking building.
What was that match with Miz and Shane McMahon? Remember that? They fell through the fucking tables from the scaffold?
Yeah, that was WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But we literally just saw them fall off the side of some kind of building a few weeks ago. So they may be setting up some sort of stunt like that. It's fine. So no, I don't think it's going to have any impact at all on, you can't do this. Can't do what? They're not getting blood unless it's hard way. And they're not going to do anything that is going to be, something that's going to get them in trouble. It's WWE, dude. It's extreme rules.
No syringes and no fireballs. None of that here.
No syringes, no explosive devices. There's not going to be...
You're going to get your kendo sticks in your steel chairs and you're going to like it, pal.
It's going to be the same shit that we see in
your
every...
Temu handcuffs, pal. That's what you're going to get.
Well, hopefully they get a pair of handcuffs that actually fucking work this time. I don't know what the hell they were using the other night.
He fell from the fucking steel post on
Twice.
I don't know, man. He's a big guy, man. I don't know. Maybe they didn't fit him right. Maybe they got a medium instead of a large. I don't know.
There's something about Jacob Fatu and handcuffs. Remember the SummerSlam cage match with Solo? He broke the handcuffs right in that one too.
What? I don't want to remember that match ever again.
Yeah, there was a cage match, and wasn't it him and Solo? There was some sort of cage match, and he got cuffed.
It was fucking terrible. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He got cuffed to the top of the cage, and he broke the cuffs or something.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right, maybe don't use handcuffs with this guy.
No. Yeah, because he got arrested. We got to use handcuffs. I mean, let's move on from that. So that's on ESPN2. Those are the first two matches to open the show. Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way. Nia Jax, Lash Legend. They are the irresistible forces. Can Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and as of right now, tentative, the Bella Twins. Now, the rumor is, Jason, that Nikki Bella and her ankle injury is going to be a game-time decision. Now, you mentioned last week, and I think you made the most sense out of everybody. So I've been running with this because it doesn't make any sense. We talked about this last week. If the Bella Twins are not able to go in this match, then the Kabuki Warriors, rumored, would be added to this match. I don't think that's going to happen now. I think the Bella Twins will absolutely be on the Saturday night show for this tag team match. But the thing is, if that was the case, you said last week, why does it have to be a fatal four? Why can't it be a triple threat match? And then people were like, well, just insert Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez into that. I'm like, yes. But all of this surrounding the Bella Twins to potentially leave EO off the show, which is fucking mind-boggling to me. But we'll talk about that in a second. But as far as this match goes, who do you see walking out with the Women's Tag Team Championships, which, in my opinion, has been some of the most nauseating, very forced, and just downright bad television that WWE's produced coming out of the Royal Rumble, man. All of this is just shit, in my opinion. I think I'm going with the irresistible forces to retain the titles.
So my pick was Bayley and Lyra to win the belts. And then I saw Lyra beat Charlotte Flair on Raw last night. And I feel a little less confident about my prediction now, but I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna stick to my guns. Right. Bayley, she really got fucked over last year going into WrestleMania. I think it would be nice for her and Lyra to have that moment. I think they're a good team also.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with them. I'm going to say that they win the tag team titles.
And then maybe we could get a proper feud between Charlotte, Alexa, Bayley, and Lyra, which I was hoping would be the tag team title match on this show, just 2 against 2. I think Alexa and Charlotte start building their split after WrestleMania. I think it all comes after that potential Bayley-Lyra win. I could see them winning. I could definitely see them winning. I'm going with Nia and Lash. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think Lash Legend has really benefited at all from Nia Jax. I don't know how you feel about the pairing, but I honestly think it's dragging her down more than anything.
Well, she doesn't get to really stand out on her own.
No.
It was like, okay, well, how can we introduce her to the main roster, but kind of hide her at the same time? Because maybe she's not quite where she needs to be, but we'll get her the experience of being on the main roster. Of course, that would make more sense if they were running live events, which they don't do anymore. Because if she were doing live events, she'd be working with Nia in tag matches every night.
Yeah.
And right now, they're just doing TV, and that's pretty much it. So I don't really, and they're not even wrestling on TV every week. So I fail to see how it's really benefiting her in any meaningful way, other than just introducing her to a wider audience. So yeah, I don't want to say that she's regressed just because I don't even think we're seeing her enough to even make that judgment call. She's not really wrestling that much.
Hopefully she has a breakout moment here at WrestleMania. Fatal 4-Way. Jason's going Bayley Lyra. I'm going to stick with Nia and Lash. Women's IC title, AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I am not very interested in seeing this one-on-one match again, though. I do think that both women are going to show up just because it's WrestleMania. I am very interested, side note, in Becky and Seth's coffee. They got a new coffee roastery / business venture here together. Amo Coffee. So I already signed up for their wait list, and I'm going to be buying a bag as soon as it's released in about 12 days or so. It's happening after WrestleMania, if you guys are coffee connoisseurs like I am. As far as this, Jason, I don't really know if there's anything radically different about what we've seen here coming out of the chamber and then going into WrestleMania. It's been largely just more of the same. The only thing of note here, as far as a difference, is that maybe AJ and Becky have kind of turned up the seriousness a little bit. But outside that, it's basically the same that we got going into the Elimination Chamber. I'm going Becky winning the title back. I just don't think AJ is going to be on TV enough to warrant a schedule for her to be the Intercontinental Champion. So I think Becky's going to retain it and win it for a third time.
Yeah, I have Becky winning the championship. That's the right move.
Yeah.
We don't have to prolong the AJ Lee experiment. I think if she wants to wrestle every now and then, that's fine. But I don't think she needs to be walking around with a championship beyond WrestleMania. I think it was a nice moment in Chicago, and now that moment is over, and I think Becky is going to get the belt back. The only thing that would make sense to me if she was not going to win the belt back would be if the idea was to move her being Becky into a title feud, let's say with Stephanie. If Stephanie was going to come out of Mania as the champion, I'd be fine with that if that were the idea. So I don't know if there's maybe a longer term plan for Becky to move back up into the world title scene, but assuming that she's not going to be doing that just yet, I say put the IC belt back on her and let her run with it a little bit longer and work with some other newer faces, and then she can transition the belt to somebody else.
Yeah,
who's actually going to be there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even though a Becky and Stephanie feud would benefit both greatly, and the main event scene could absolutely use some star power. Mm-hmm. after everybody's been kind of just floating around the tag team division. But Becky winning the title back against AJ at WrestleMania. Rollins and Gunther. This is a one-on-one match. A lot of people, including me, complained about it 3 weeks ago. I think we are a little bit more at ease now after what we got on Monday Night Raw. Now, if you guys watch Raw, there was a segment which started off as a brawl, like everything else, and your StreamYard popped up there. Let me stay in studio for the solemn answer. We got
it'll be 20 minutes before it pops up for me. It never pops up for me at the same time it pops up for you.
Yeah, I don't know. We got a pull-apart brawl between these guys. Everybody brawled last night. So Rollins wanted to know why Gunther chose him for WrestleMania. So Gunther comes out and says, Seth, I'm solving Heyman's problem, but I'm doing it with a smile on my face because you are pissing me off. Because for years, you strut around here acting like you're the best in this ring, and reality is you're not. I am. And if you're honest to yourself, you never wanted to find out, because when I was World's Heavyweight Champion, instead of seeking out the highest level of competition, you became a useful idiot for Paul Heyman. So WrestleMania, it is personal to me. I'm setting it straight, and it's very personal to expose that Seth Rollins can't lace my boots. So I think, Jason, everybody is feeling a little bit more at ease with what we're getting, because WWE has tied up all of this to really make it feel like the original plans, in contrast, were weaker. Now, the original plans were Gunther and Ray, and then Rollins and Breakker. They opted to not go Rollins and Breakker and save Breakker for maybe a WrestleMania appearance here, costing him this match, and then doing the match one-on-one at Backlash in Tampa. On the flip side, you got Gunther and Rey Mysterio. Does it sound like a good match? Sure, but it is a WrestleMania match? Probably not.
No.
And Rey Mysterio is not going to retire because of the career killer, and I think he wants to do something with his son to a point where maybe Dominic retires him. Regardless, the plans are now better, and I like the way that they also tied Paul Heyman into this, where Heyman owes Gunther a favor now, which could eventually lead to Gunther and Lesnar at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. I think what WWE did here, though convoluted in some weird way, makes a lot of sense.
No, I mean, I'm just glad they at least attempted to give us some sort of explanation last night. I didn't think we were going to get any, honestly. And all of a sudden, he's like, tell me why. He's like one of the fucking Backstreet Boys last night. Tell me why. Tell me why. And so Gunther comes back to the ring, and he's like, I'll tell you why. And he at least tried to explain why. The only thing it's tough to really buy it is that, he's like, this is deeply personal.
Yeah.
And this is not a personal issue.
No.
Him saying that, you keep calling yourself and acting like you're the best when I know I'm the best. It's the most basic premise for a wrestling match, right? These two want to go in there and find out who the better wrestler is. And that's great. And I think they're going to go out there and potentially steal the show. But to try to pass this off as this is personal for me, it's really not. They were kind of stretching the credibility there when it comes to how personal this issue is. They had to, go a different way with things, and we ended up with what probably is going to be the stronger match overall. But they didn't have a lot of time to build a story. So we got a little bit of story in there. We got some semblance of an explanation. At least they tried to give us something. And now these two are going to go out there. I think they're going to have a kick-ass match. And I think that at the end of all of it, Braun Breaker is going to get involved.
Yeah.
We know he's medically cleared. I think that we all pretty much surmise that coming out of this, it's going to be Seth and it's going to be Breaker. So why not have Breaker show up, cost Seth? They go off and do their thing, and you keep Gunther, rolling. He should not be losing to anybody right now.
No.
For him to lose this match would be completely ridiculous. But I think that's how they protect Seth. I think they have Breaker get involved, and Gunther wins.
Well, if they wanted to make it really personal with Gunther and Rollins, I mean, Rollins was on TV for 3 weeks acting like a clown with the fucking putties out there on Paul Heyman, and Gunther was off television for 3 weeks. Maybe he should have come back and kind of integrated himself into the Rollins nonsense and maybe do something out of character and target Rollins. Instead, we just get him showing up out of nowhere after disappearing for 3 weeks, attacking him, and then pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and then waiting another week for an explanation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going Gunther in the same way that you are. Breaker will show up, and I agree. Nobody should be beating Gunther at this point, though some people may agree because they don't really see the value in Gunther. You don't have him do what he's done to John Cena and AJ Styles and have him lose to Rollins at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, chat. Stephanie Vaquera and Liv Morgan, Women's World Championship.
Okay, so you talk about a personal issue.
Yes.
I think they've done a very good job.
Yes.
With 2 matches in particular in this build-up. Brock and Oba being one, this being the other. Where I feel like it was a few weeks ago where they really turned a corner with this. And then, of course, the brutal headbutt, backstage last week, which was accidental. But Liv Morgan came out last night. Kathy Kelly is in the ring to talk to Stephanie and barely gets a question out. And Liv Morgan hits the ring and knocks Stephanie into Kathy. Kathy took a bump. You know how many people on social media were very upset and concerned for Kathy Kelly? They thought she was legitimately injured.
Everybody loves Kathy Kelly.
Well, I saw hashtag justice for Kathy and all this like crazy insanity going on. She sold it great. She was crying all the way to the back. But Liv Morgan was an absolute raving psychopath. Her eyes were bugging out of her skull. And you couldn't tell because her hair was kind of blocking it, but she still had a little bit of I know she had a bruise. I think she had a little bit of a lump on her head from last week.
Liv looked like what you see at 4 a.m. at fucking Coyote Ugly on fucking First Street in the city, man. That's like...
I've seen, let me tell you something. I've come out of bars in New York at 3 o'clock in the morning and seen girls that look like that.
Oh, my God.
With no shoes on, walking through the streets. That's what Liv Morgan looked like last night. And she was screaming, and she just looked like she was ready to murder this woman. And then... she gets on the mic and she says, I knew your mother was trash, but I didn't know that she raised a little bitch. Yes. And then Stephanie. So, I mean, it doesn't get any more personal than that.
Well, then she started screaming like fucking some possessed witch out there. Yeah, I can't even recreate it.
It was piercing. It was ear piercing. And so, yeah, she looked like she hadn't slept in 4 days. Somebody said in the chat she didn't wear any makeup. Probably not. I mean, she sold it like she had been up for like days just waiting to get her hands on this woman. This feels like a personal issue. This feels like 2 women who genuinely do not like each other. And so I'm looking forward to the match. And I happen to think that Liv Morgan is going to leave as the women's world champion.
I agree. Listen, it wasn't working. There was no real tangible like investment from either one of these women for a match. Liv won the Rumble. Stephanie's been cold. Let's be honest. Her title run has not been very exciting. I wouldn't say she isn't successful. She's very good. It just hasn't been an entertaining title run. They've thrown Raquel Rodriguez at her, and I don't know, somebody else maybe. I can't even think of it. It was just 1 or 2 women that she's really kind of merry-go-round with the title. But they transitioned this into making it feel personal. And I do think that when you add that sense of, like, these women fucking don't like each other for real, I think that's going to make for a good match. And it's made for an obviously better story. This out of all the women's matches on this card, this feels the strongest now, where at coming in, this was like one of the weakest because of the stories they were telling. This clearly is better than Jade and Rhea and what they're doing. I'm not invested in that whatsoever. This I'm fully invested in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And also, I think, if Liv wins the championship, there's so much potential there with her and Raquel at some point. When I did my predictions at the beginning of the year, I had picked Roxanne Perez as my pick to win the women's Money in the Bank match. That's still a ways off. Money in the Bank is not until Labor Day weekend, but still, let's say Liv is champion. If they're all still together, Roxanne wins the briefcase. There's a lot of storyline potential there. And Stephanie, I like Stephanie, but her run has been very underwhelming. And she could benefit from working with someone like a Becky Lynch. I just don't know that that's the direction they're going to go in. I feel like that title needs to come off of her. This run has been just very lackluster, and there's just more storyline potential, I think, with Liv as the champion.
Stephanie was recently quoted. She was interviewed by CVV, and he asked about her theme music that got changed. Now, her original theme music was by Chris Egert. It was called Bury Me, which you can find on Spotify, by the way, if you guys want to go find it. She said, I like it, meaning the new theme. I loved my old song, though, but, many issues, so we need a new song. I just hope people can understand that. Then she was asked, Jason, if she could choose one song to come out to at WrestleMania, it would be Megadeth's Head Crusher. Now, I don't know how likely that is to happen, but Head Crusher would be a great track for her to come out to. She's a big Megadeth fan.
You think TKO is spending money on fucking Megadeth? Are you kidding me?
No, they're not. You're gonna take your Death Rebel slop and like it.
They just asking that question. They just drove up the ticket prices even more now.
Imagine what it would cost to get Megadeth and Dave Mustaine to actually play one song at WrestleMania.
I think Tony Khan is crazy enough to do it at like All In.
Oh, he better get Alter Bridge to play Adam Copeland's last match. He has to.
I could see. Look, if that's what Copeland requested, I absolutely think Tony would look into trying to make that happen.
I would
absolutely
love Tony Khan till the end of days if he made that
Look,
happen.
Sting was coming out to the old Seek and Destroy, and I mean, we've seen. Look, I mean, that's one thing that he has shown in the past. Like, he will not shy away from, even if it's just like a one-time only thing. Whether it's Final Countdown or what other songs has he paid?
No,
for?
he when Cope wrestled Malachi in the steel cage match where he broke his leg, he came out to Slayer's Rain and Blood.
That's right.
He's not afraid to buy some rights to some music. I'll tell you that.
And I wish WWE would be open to that as well. It doesn't have to be like that's their new theme music. It could just be for a special entrance or something, but like real music. I mean, they've done it occasionally in the past, but it's something I wish they would be open to doing more often. I get that like some of these artists, or I guess it's the labels, are just ridiculous to work with. I think that's one of the things I heard about Metallica.
Yeah.
When it came to Sandman's theme and the amount of money they wanted for them to use it. And they used it the one time at the One Night Stand show, but like it was some ridiculous number where even I would be like, go fuck yourself. Like, you take your song and stick it up your ass.
Probably like
you know what I mean?
$500,000 dollars for fucking 2 minutes of Enter Sandman.
I think it was more than that. I think it was double that at least. But so there are certain situations that are just ridiculous. But yeah, I wish they would be a little more open. I think it would just make it more fun.
Yeah, I agree. Main event. Undisputed WWE title match. Cody Rhodes defends against Randy Orton with his voice, Pat McAfee. Now, it wouldn't be a TNT if we didn't cycle back in time here and go back to Friday Night SmackDown. I know, everybody's favorite show, where Pat McAfee, Jason, made a second appearance, and you, me, and everybody else that was live on Friday night said the same exact thing. He made everything that much worse on Friday night. So he addressed CM Punk. He mentioned that CM Punk's got 283 things for sale on WWE Shop, and I wondered to myself, when that TKO merch check comes through, which account does it go to? Does it go to the needy wrestling family who can't afford WrestleMania tickets? Or do I have a sneaking suspicion that money came, or that money from the TKO merch account goes straight into the bank account entitled, I'm sorry, Saudi Arabia? So he says he's a fraud. He talks like a politician. He's all talk and no action. And he had a major surprise. So everybody was massive surprise. This was going to be the ground shaking announcement that changes WrestleMania forever. So he comes out and we see the Dodge Ram logo squarely in the center of the ring on the wrestling mat, on that blue wrestling mat. He says, so I called Ram Trucks, the official sponsor of WrestleMania, and I said, hey, Ram Trucks, do you want to help wrestling fans and sports entertainment fans get to WrestleMania? They said, absolutely. So I asked them, why don't you pick up 25% of the bill for anybody that buys a ticket to WrestleMania Saturday night from this moment till the end of Monday Night Raw? They said, no problem. 25% off all tickets. To me, San Jose, sounds great. Now, WrestleMania Sunday night, that's ass. I wouldn't recommend anybody spending money on that. But Saturday night, 25% off to see a once-in-a-lifetime in all of sports, Randy Orton, going to save this business while winning the 15th world title. Have you guys ever won a Stanley Cup here in San Jose? Holy shit, never. He goes on to bury San Jose, and that was his big announcement.
Yeah, so let me stop you there.
Yeah, go ahead.
He comes out. He's healing on the fans. He's calling them scumbags. He's pointing to a guy in the front row calling him fatso and insulting their sports teams, right? It's clear they want him to get all the heat that Cody Rhodes has been getting. They want to kind of transfer it over to Randy Orton and Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
But he stands in the ring and he goes, you know what I did? I called our title sponsor for WrestleMania this year so that we can get all of you people 25% off WrestleMania Saturday tickets now through Monday. You're welcome. So he baby-faced the crowd by telling them that he got them 25% off WrestleMania tickets.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to boo this guy.
Yes.
CM Punk did a promo last week and said, lower the ticket prices. And Pat McAfee picked up the phone and he got Ram Trucks to help lower the ticket prices. but he's supposed to be booed because he's supposed to be a heel. Now, explain to me how that makes sense.
Also burying Night 2, which is clearly the better night.
He did. But I'm just wondering, okay, so why would you send him out there to get all of this heat and then have his big announcement be that he's giving the fans a discount on WrestleMania tickets? Even the big angle, like the big surprise that they planned, didn't make any fucking sense. And also, you're out there and this is now part of the storyline, by the way. So for anybody who's like, man, I'm so tired of all the podcasters and everybody talking about ticket prices, well, too damn bad, because they've now turned it into a storyline. The story of WrestleMania now on television is how expensive tickets are. And they are so desperate to get people to buy tickets that their massive surprise that they had Pat McAfee hyping up for days in advance of SmackDown was 25% off tickets for what, three days only?
Yeah,
I believe, right? The end of Raw Monday night, the offer went away.
Yeah, I got a news article on that, by the way, how much he absolutely, I wouldn't say didn't help, but he has nothing to do with the advance in ticket sales.
Yeah, I mean, they sold some tickets, but it wasn't some overwhelming number.
No, they're not even close to last year.
You're also having him go out there and promote this in front of an audience of 1 million plus, however many people are watching SmackDown, and the vast majority of the people who are watching this television show don't give a fuck about how much WrestleMania tickets are because they ain't going to WrestleMania. They're not the ones who are going to be in Las Vegas. So this doesn't even apply to them. This applies to a very small subset of people. But that was the whole point of him being out there for that promo on Friday. This is why I use the word pathetic to describe this segment, because it was basically them begging people, please buy tickets to this event. And this is WrestleMania that we're talking about here. They're begging their audience to buy tickets because they're not selling as rapidly as they had hoped. And then the rest of this promo, once Cody Rhodes came out, and as you said already, he spent part of it talking about CM Punk, who isn't even on SmackDown. He's part of a completely different match on the show.
But there's a civil war coming. You have to know that.
Cody comes out. And so the two of them start going back and forth. And again, it's more stuff, the IWC and the marks and blah, blah, blah. And Cody points out, you bring up the Attitude Era. Pat, that was 30 years ago. And Randy Orton was in high school. He wasn't even part of the Attitude Era. And he's like, go away, go home. Nobody wants you here. And he goes to leave. And now McAfee's in the ring ranting about sucking Triple H's ass and prying Levesque's ass cheeks. So I'm like, what the fuck are we? Where is Randy Orton? This is going on and on and on. And you would think the WrestleMania match was Cody Rhodes against Pat McAfee for the WWE Championship. Finally, I don't know how many minutes we were into this god-awful fucking segment, but finally we see Randy Orton on the Tron like, hey, over here. I'm still here. And we see Jelly Roll. You didn't even mention Jelly Roll.
Well, I mean, I didn't mention it yet because I don't really want to.
You don't want to. I know, but you must. So he's laying on the ground. He was eliminated off screen by Randy Orton, who drags him out onto the stage. And anyway, the point of all this, we don't need to dwell on this too much other than to say that when it was all over, yet again, Cody Rhodes was laid out. And the man who walked out of SmackDown with the WWE Championship was not Randy Orton. It was not Cody Rhodes. It was Pat McAfee, who is still in possession of the WWE title. He has brought it on his show with him. And I'm sure there's some people out there going, well, you see, that's why this angle is so great.
Look at all the eyeballs, Sebastian. Look at all the Pat McAfee got the eyeballs.
Yeah. Look at the belt in the background sitting behind him, draped over the chair. Look at all the publicity it's getting WWE.
Oh my God.
It's embarrassing. That will not sell a single fucking ticket to that show. What they're doing there, he's got the belt with him. He had a Randy Orton t-shirt the week before, just kind of draped over a chair in the background. Oh, see, Pat's getting all this attention on WrestleMania. But think about what we saw in this segment. The vast majority of it was the Pat McAfee show. Randy Orton was a small part of it. And so now what we have here, Randy Orton is a background player in his own main event match of WrestleMania. That's where we are.
Yeah, I know.
The match that we talked about so many times.
For 4 years, by the way. 4 years we talked about this.
for years, I'm like, when are they going to do an actual like program, a real feud between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton? It just seems like such a slam dunk. And we finally get it. And it's a WrestleMania match. And Randy Orton is almost like non-existent in this story. He has such a small bit role in this story. This is the Pat McAfee show.
You see, he called Cody an elite runaway artist. You get that? Elite runaway artist?
No, I didn't pick up on that. At that point, I was trying to just check out and hope
that's his second AEW reference in 2 weeks, Pat McAfee.
Yes, after the 5'5" guys doing the 45-minute Iron Man matches. Yes. And people think this is good. Like, that's what gets me. I think that almost angers me more, the justification where it's like, well, you're just hating on it for the sake of hating on it. It's different. It's outside the box. Cody is boring, so this is what it needed. And they completely, like, they're so divorced from reality, not realizing what it is that I think so many fans are actually upset about and why this is so terrible.
You got those comments too this way. I got a comment like that from what's his name? NoIQ.com over there. He said, "Yo, everybody says WWE is predictable, man. When they do something not really predictable, everybody shits on it. Like, it sucks. What do you want me to tell you? Like, everybody's making money off of. We're making money, Jason, because we're negative on the product. Meanwhile, we're not supposed to rant about Pat McAfee. I don't really get it.
So we weren't making money when we weren't.
Yes.
Okay.
We only make money when it's bad and when we rant and rave about something like Pat McAfee. But when WWE's good, we don't make any money, apparently.
We're just whoring ourselves at the end of the street corner, apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
This shit sucks.
I think I would get more money than you would, but that's a different story. But like, this is all just it's just all so embarrassing. And look, I can't sit here and say that at the end of all of this, there won't be some sort of big swerve or big development in the story that sounds interesting, or that they can't take this and eventually take it in a direction that is exciting, or that I could look at and go, okay, now this, you know what? This is interesting. This I could get behind. I hope so. I hope so. But if everything we're hearing is accurate, this was something that, again, it was kind of forced upon them, and it really is all about WrestleMania. I don't know how much thought has been given into what this looks like in 3 months. I think they're so laser focused right now on WrestleMania and then maybe Backlash that I also see people kind of fantasy booking all of these different scenarios and like a TKO Civil War with WWE, like a new age corporation.
There's nothing happening. Nothing.
How many times do we fall for this where it's like, oh, maybe there's like gold at the end of the rainbow. There's some great idea here. We just like, man, this is cinema. This is like, they're 4 steps ahead here. Like, they're not. They're not. And so we're heading into WrestleMania. We have this match. I think that Randy Orton is going to be a 15-time world champion.
Yes.
Even though
they
Rhodes,
basically telegraphed
Cody Rhodes
it.
says, well, but think about that. If that actually happens, Cody Rhodes, I mean, for everything that's happened to him, and then he goes in there and loses. I mean, how terrible is that?
Well, they've telegraphed it. They told you exactly what's going to happen, because the match that everybody's now planning, or they're planning for Backlash, is this mixed celebrity tag team match with Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee.
Yeah, that's going to be most likely going to be the Backlash match.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes and Jelly Roll against Randy Orton and Pat McAfee. Because McAfee said that if Randy Orton doesn't win number 15, you will never see me or hear from me in this business ever again.
Yep. I'm low-key hoping Cody Rhodes wins decisively.
Here's the saddest part about it. My attitude coming into this match, if you would have told me that this is going to be the WrestleMania main event 3 months ago, oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
My attitude now is I can't wait for this to be over with.
Yeah. I don't even consider this a main event. I think Brock and Oba is a bigger main event than this fucking match.
That objectively.
Yes.
Objectively. I cannot wait for this shit to be over.
You know,
I
was also told today by a couple of people, you know, obviously haters who still listen to what we do and what we do here on Tuesday night. They said, you're not seeing the plan that they're putting in action here. They're only using Pat McAfee to get Randy Orton the heat because everybody was cheering Randy Orton. It's working and you marks are falling for it. I'm like, no, that's not the fucking reason they brought Pat McAfee in. Give me a fucking break. Because they were afraid Randy Orton's getting cheered? Are you kidding me?
Did you see the reaction that Randy Orton got on Friday?
He got cheered.
Well, no, I mean, it was more indifference than anything else. I mean, he wasn't being wildly cheered like he was a few weeks ago, but he also wasn't being booed.
No.
I felt like I didn't feel like he was being overly cheered. I felt like, man, okay, congratulations, you've now succeeded in taking a reaction that was very strong for Randy Orton and muting it enough to where, I don't know, if it came across to me like he wasn't getting much of a reaction. That is not going to make Cody all of a sudden get universally cheered, though. So you've just made things worse, honestly, by doing what you've done. But that's not why this is happening. Like, Ari Emanuel doesn't give a fuck if Cody Rhodes is being booed. Again, there were other reasons why, if these reports are to be believed, there are other reasons why this is happening. I just think that people who are, again, fantasy booking this thing out with The Rock, or, I mean, we've heard so many
Shane McMahon,
or like, you're just setting yourself up for, you know, the inevitable disappointment.
Can you imagine Shane McMahon comes out in the main event and starts shadow punching Cody Rhodes in the main event?
Yeah, I can actually, and then not one of the punches connecting. Yes, I've seen this story before with him and Randy Orton. Funny enough, many years ago, and it was horrible then, and it would be horrible now. So I just want this over with. I think Orton's going to win number 15. I mean, I know Cody just won the belt back last month, but that's my prediction. I think we're going to get a title change, because if he doesn't win the championship, I mean, where do you go from there?
You mean to tell me WrestleMania Night 1's going to end with another celebrity interference and a title change?
Oh, I think Jelly Roll is going to show up. If he doesn't come out with Cody, I think he'll show up during the match and take care of Pat. I think his role will be to try to neutralize Pat McAfee. And then, you know, the good thing about that is maybe we end up with, you know, Cody and Randy doing their thing without all the bullshit interference. But this is going to be an overbooked mess. I mean,
do you believe what we're talking about here? Randy Orton, yes. Cody Rhodes, 20 years of history, one of the most sought after main events in the last 5 years. Yeah. Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee are going to fucking factor into this main event.
Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee.
Oh.
This is fucking awful. And anybody who defends this, you offend me. Okay? There is no defense of this.
We don't want you listening to our content, man. Just go watch somebody else.
This is so fucking bad. Like, seriously, you cannot defend this.
They took 20 years of fucking history, almost 50 years of active professional wrestling between these two guys, and shed this story and all that came with it to sell you on Pat McAfee to go out there and make it about himself, telling you the fucking show sucks. WrestleMania isn't selling well. Here's 25% off. Come watch me save pro wrestling, man. Oh, as Jason goes away, what a fucking fitting moment for him to just bow out, man. Look, oh my God. Oh, what an awful situation. There he is. You got cut out as soon as I finished my last sentence, man.
I was like, I'm listening. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's just pissing me off even more.
Oh my God, we're moving on, man.
But I think we're in agreement. Yes. I think Randy Orton is winning the title.
Yes, he has to.
Because I do think that they're going to want something, you know, big to happen at the end of night one, and so I think that's probably what we're going to end up getting.
God, they deserve everything that's coming to them if they continue this with Jelly Roll into Backlash. I hope. I have no doubt. I hope Tony Khan has a master plan to just fucking say fuck you, man, and just do something big. Please steal the viewers.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt that they're going to want to get another, you know, big PLE match out of it. Got tickets to sell in Tampa, right? Yeah. That's where Backlash is.
Well,
what's the ticket count in Tampa? I would love to know.
I don't know. Somebody look into that. We got night two. Night two, like I said earlier, is 6 matches, and it is the stronger show for sure on paper.
You know what? I hate to go back to it, but like, you know what the best ending to this match would be? The best ending to this match would be for them to just retcon all of this shit, and you know McAfee's getting involved in everything. Cody Rhodes is you know he gets punted in the head, and Randy Orton wins the championship. And McAfee's celebrating with him. We're saving wrestling, baby. And then Randy Orton fucking punts him in the head. Because he has no need for him anymore. He got exactly what he wanted. He got his belt, and that's it. He punts him into oblivion, and we don't see him again. And then for good measure, he can punt Jelly Roll, too, because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
And then Randy Orton will be the biggest babyface in wrestling, but so what? That's how WrestleMania Night 1 should end.
I would take that.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
And then we forget all of this ever happened, and Randy Orton now has number 15, and Cody has to chase him for it.
Yeah. Night 2. We have the ESPN channel. I won't say ESPN proper.
I'll say it.
ESPN proper.
ESPN proper.
The first 2 matches that we will see. First one will be Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar, and then after that, we got the ladder match for the IC title. We'll start with Oba and Brock. I know this one has been a discussion in the community on who's going to win. Oba should win. Some people think Brock should win to get a second match out of it, because what has Oba done to deserve beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? You heard all the excuses and everybody's fantasy booking. All I'll say with this, Jason, is I think out of everything we've seen on WrestleMania, this has easily, I'm even including Roman and Punk in this, easily been the best built match going into WrestleMania. This feels like a WrestleMania match. I am genuinely, I don't want to say marking out, but my fandom for a pro wrestling match, I am very, very invested into what these two guys are doing here. Oba is the fucking man. He is going to be a future main event WrestleMania guy for years and years and years to come. I know Paul Heyman said that about Braun Breaker. It's Oba Femi, no doubt about it. In 3 months, this guy has just rocketed up as far as fan perception. He is the fucking man. I don't know what the reaction would be if Lesnar won. I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to come on here and fucking lose my voice like I did for Pat McAfee. If Lesnar wins, I'm not going to be surprised. But if Lesnar wins, I don't think it's as bad as people think, because Oba Femi's star has obviously gotten a lot brighter since debuting at the Royal Rumble. Now, with that said, I'm not saying that Lesnar should win. We are both in agreement that Oba Femi should win, and Oba needs to beat Brock Lesnar, because I believe Lesnar's going away till SummerSlam at least. Oba's going to be on TV full time and be there almost every week. I think it benefits him more so, obviously, and it does nothing for Lesnar if he wins. But the build here has been tremendous. This is a WrestleMania match through and through. I'm going with Oba Femi.
Yeah, I think Oba Femi is going to win this match. Brock has gotten virtually no offense in on him. He never did get him up for the F5 and lay him out or anything like that. They have done, I mean, it's amazing that the same people who booked this are responsible for booking some of these other matches on this WrestleMania card, because they have not made a single misstep in this, which is shocking to me. Every step of the way, they have made the right call in how they have handled this. And then right down to putting a mic in Oba's hand on Raw last night, where he cut what I thought was a hell of a promo.
Excellent promo.
That was his first promo in front of a live crowd on Raw, and the intensity increased as the promo went on, and that's really when I think he's at his best. The more intense he gets, he's got that big booming voice. He kind of commands the room.
Yeah.
But every city they've been in, New York, Houston, I guess they were in Sacramento last night, everyone's cheering, everyone's chanting his name, everyone's barking for him as he comes down to the ring. They have made a new star. And I just feel like all they need to do, they've done everything right up until this point. All they need to do now is stick the landing.
Yeah.
So many times before, they can't stick the landing. How you do that is very simple. You have him win, because wins and losses still mean something.
Yes.
And the easiest way, you want to get this guy, not that he's not over already, but you really want to cement it and show people that what he said last night wasn't a fluke, right? He said last night, I'm the one. Like, I'm the guy. Yeah,
that's exactly what I said last night. How are you going to have him cut that promo and then have him lose on Sunday? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I'm the guy. And then for him to go out there and get, F5'd and then beat would be very stupid. Not a career killer, but I think it would be very stupid. Just let him go in there and beat Brock, right? You protect Brock so much. For what? For this.
Yeah.
For moments like this. So it's the only outcome to me that really makes sense here. Even though, again, he's gotten one over on Brock every step of the way, you got to take it to its conclusion. And the proper outcome is to have him go in there and it does not have to be a long match. Again,
No,
I
10 minutes.
think use the Goldberg blueprint from WrestleMania in Orlando. That went, I think, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
This should go, I'd like to see this go a little bit longer than that, but not much, And I think it's the perfect match to open on ESPN on night 2.
Yeah.
Because it's the match that's probably in front of that audience. who maybe they don't follow every match and every story, you see these two guys standing face to face in the ring together, I think you're going to stop what you're doing.
Yep.
And you're going to pay attention to what's going on. So I think Oba wins. And honestly, I think both these matches on ESPN in the first hour were very smart choices.
Yep. I agree. The hardest part's done. The easiest part now remains. Fall from grace. 1, 2, 3. Oba wins. Easy. Demon Balor. They announced.
Wait, hold on. The other ESPN.
The other ESPN match. Yes, I'm sorry.
We have the ladder match.
Penta. For the IC title. Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. Now they did give you a little preview in that chaotic 10-minute tag team match that they had last night on Raw, which was very fun. I would have loved to see it go a little bit longer. Shockingly, Jason, Rusev stood tall over everybody, which is surprising because he has barely gotten television time this year in the first 4 months. So I'm going to eliminate him. He's not winning the ladder match on Sunday night. So
dude, he was never winning the ladder match, regardless of what happened last night.
Well, whatever odds he had is now mathematically zero.
He had negative odds. That's what he had.
So he stood tall on Monday. The field in this is very fun. What's Javon Evans going to do on a ladder? What's Penta going to do on a ladder? I mean, his middle name is Ladder. Dragon Lee, his star has gotten a little brighter on Raw. He's excellent. Former tag team champion with AJ Styles. McDonough. A lot of great high flyers in this match. Rey Mysterio. What is he going to do in there, mixing up with his luchador counterparts? I want to say Penta, but my heart wants Javon Evans to win the IC title. But at the end of it all, I think Penta just won it. It would be stupid to take it off him because he's so popular. He hasn't really done anything with it. I'm going to say Penta retains.
Penta has to retain.
Yeah.
Penta has not had the title for very long. He's super popular. Javon is going to have his moment. I mean, Javon is still very new to Monday Night Raw. Like, he just debuted there, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
He's still being established. He's going to win the title at some point, I'm sure. I don't want to see Penta's reign cut short just yet. Again, not that I would have an issue if Javon won, but I think Penta needs to win this. So I'm going to go with him to retain.
We got the Demon Balor against Dominic Mysterio. Now, this is not for any title. I know Dominic is still the AAA Mega Champion. Just a singles match, one-on-one.
Campeon. Come on.
Campeon, yes.
Mega Campeon.
They announced the Demon last week. Put him on the graphic and everything. I know they wanted to use this as a tactic to get interest into what's going on here, maybe sell some extra tickets. I would have waited, but WWE thought otherwise. Not like it really would have mattered, but the entrance is going to fucking be great. The visual is going to be great to see the Demon come out in front of that big crowd. You would have to think that Balor's going to win this. I know they've been building this for the last couple of years, easy. This is a long time coming here.
Dude, how awful would it be if you bring the Demon back after 3 years? 3 years or 3 years? After 3 years.
Yeah.
The last 2 times we saw the Demon, he lost. You're going to bring him back and have him lose for a third straight time?
If this was Vince, yes.
As Wade Barrett called him last week, the perhaps unbeatable Demon. I could tell that Wade Barrett doesn't pay too close attention to the product that he does commentary
What
for.
fucking show was he watching?
I don't know. Maybe he was watching WEE instead of WWE. But yes, this will be an easy win for Demon Balor.
What's the sponsor of this match going to be? Chat says it's going to be Dude Wipes. Some people say it's going to be Fireball Whiskey.
It was a really missed opportunity for them not to send Balor out there on Raw Monday night to counteract what Pat McAfee did and say that he spoke to the Demon, and the Demon was going to do something for the fans. Where if they bought WrestleMania tickets for that night of WrestleMania, now through SmackDown on Friday, it was 50% off, and the Demon was going to make it happen. He was going to put some sort of Demon Hex or something, and he was going to get a 50% off deal for the fans. So then they would have sold more tickets that way. Got to one-up Pat McAfee.
50% off. They would have come close to their quota of 55,000.
Buy one, get one free.
That's the next tactic.
We're very close to what CM Punk said on Dynamite coming true from all those years ago. What he said, What was it?
Buy
one, get one extravaganza.
Yeah, buy one 4-night extravaganza or something like that.
We're getting close.
Jade Cargill, she defends the WWE Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley. This has been snooze-inducing. This is not very good. I've said my piece on this on every platform that I've been invited on, and I've talked about this. Jade and Rhea is only a match because Rhea needs a big match because they need her there, and the company's trying to position Jade in a way where she's a bigger star than she really is. What's Solomon's laughing at?
No, Don in the chat. The demon should have raised prices by 25.
Yes.
He should have been like, I'm gonna undo what Pat McAfee did because I'm a demon, and we're gonna raise them back up 25%. See, I would have popped. I would have popped for that. That would have been great. Look. As far as this match goes, what they have done has been very paint by numbers, and then we saw them involve Io Sky because that was the only card for them to play. If Jade was going to try to get at someone that Rhea cared about, then Io was the one who made sense. I hate the fact that Io has basically, like what Asuka said last night is 100% true. Io is in all of this nothing more than Rhea's sidekick, because she pointed out, like, you went into WrestleMania last year as the world champion, and this year you're coming in as Rhea's sidekick. I thought at first she said Rhea's side chick, but I guess both of those things can be true. But it's sad, but that's basically where we're at. And the promos and everything haven't exactly been lighting the world on fire. So my bold prediction for this, I mean, I don't think it's bold to say that I think Jade is going to retain the title. So I think Jade Cargill absolutely going to retain the championship. My bold prediction here is that we are going to get a return appearance from Bianca Belair.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. That's what I said last week.
1 year. It's been 1 year she's been out for. I think she's going to show up, and I think she's going to attack Io and Rhea and help Jade retain the title. Because the last time we saw her was in a match with Io and Rhea, and that fucking match cost her a year of her career. And she hasn't forgotten about that. And I think that plays into it. And so instead of going the way people probably think it's going to go, she ends up siding with Jade and helps Jade retain the title.
I like the way you think. I like that idea, but Jade has the baddies. She has Michin and BFAB. So that would be 4-on-2.
She has the baddies. I mean, there's no bigger baddie here than Bianca. Look, if you gave me the option of Bianca or BFAB and Michin, I would want Bianca in my crew. But yes, that would be 4. That's true. And I don't even know if Io necessarily would be moved over permanently to SmackDown, but I would like to see them start building to Bianca and Rhea as a match. And I don't think they're ready to take the belt off Jade just yet. You could also get to a point eventually where there is a falling out, and then you could always do Bianca and Jade. I wouldn't do it right out of the gate because there should be a better storyline explanation for why. And in this case, I think you can absolutely have one if she were to go after Rhea and Io.
That is quite the bold prediction. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think Jade is gonna win. I think something happens at the end where Rhea gets beat down and Bianca makes a return. I just can't wrap my head around the fact that Bianca's coming back and isn't going to be the one to take the title from Jade Cargill. I think that's what they're going to stick to. Though I like your idea better because I've always said that Bianca works better as a heel, and I think she needs a heel turn. I don't know.
There you go.
But then we don't get the Jade and Bianca match.
No, you can get the Jade and Bianca match eventually.
By what? Doing Jade as a babyface?
No, by doing Bianca as a babyface. Like, you can still get there eventually if you want to still get there. But I would not be doing that right away. And I think her initially coming back, it's funny, she doesn't necessarily even have to go heel per se, because the last we saw her, like her and Jade, like they didn't have any issues. They were tag team partners. Mm-hmm. There was stuff with Naomi, but like we never really got a breakup between Bianca and Jade. So I just think like maintaining that relationship initially when she comes back kind of makes sense. But it doesn't mean they have to be friends for the next 6 months. You could still end up having a falling out between them, or, Bianca's going to come for the championship. You can still get there.
Yeah.
But I just like the idea initially of like, okay, I haven't forgotten what you motherfuckers did to me here. Or where were you over the last year? I didn't hear from you. It's like I didn't exist, right? No phone calls, no nothing to check on me. Like there's a story there. There's a story there. And I think it reminds me a little bit of what they did last year in the Elimination Chamber when Jade got in and everybody thought she was going after Liv and she went after Naomi instead. You could have that kind of moment here where people, like if she shows up, people think they know who she's going to go after and then she doesn't. So you kind of get that moment too. I just want her back. I just hope that she's healthy enough to come back.
Well, they need her. They definitely need her on Friday. Yeah. That division is sinking and sinking fast. And we go into the main event. CM Punk and Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this has been building over several weeks coming out of the Royal Rumble. They made the match official that Raw after the Royal Rumble. Roman took 4 weeks off after the Chamber concluded, comes back. We start building. Started off really good, and then it's kind of, in my opinion, gone a little downhill. It's gotten a little weaker as the weeks went on. That just goes to the fact that we have a longer WrestleMania season. If they shortened it, I think it would be a little bit more impactful. But we've seen brawls, Jason. We've seen cheap pot shots about family thrown, and, the Usos were involved, and it all came to a face-to-face last night that I thought was good, but I didn't really understand the vibe they were going for. Now, I said on my end that when you look at CM Punk, he says he apologized for what he said about Sika. He loves Sika. He loved the old timers. He loved Roman's father. And
you missed the match.
I missed it. What did I miss?
Sami
Zayn and Trick. Okay, let's rewind. Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, United States title. Trick Williams is going to win the United States Championship.
Interesting. I think Sami Zayn is going to retain the United States Championship, and I think that I think it is the right call to make, provided that Sami wins the match by nefarious means, and you do. When I say double turn, this really is sort of the kickoff to a larger story. So it's not like an overnight thing, but it is really the beginnings of a double turn here. And it only works if Sami has to cheat in some way or take some sort of shortcut to win the match. I'm not saying he beats Trick clean, which would be fucking stupid. But you got to do it that way, because you heard the reaction that he got when he came out on SmackDown on Friday night. People, this was not like a smattering of boos. Like, they were booing him out of the building. And when Trick comes out, Trick gets cheered, right? People love Trick, and he's very entertaining and very charismatic. So I think you don't have to do much. When I say double turn, let it happen naturally, because there isn't anything you need to really do. I think it'll sort of happen. You do that finish, Sami Zayn's going to be the most hated man on SmackDown, outside of Pat McAfee. And the people will just rally behind Trick that much more, just organically. Sami just won the belt back. I'm starting to get a little intrigued about where his kind of arc is going to go. I think you ruin it if you just take the belt off him for WrestleMania. For this to work, he has to win. And then this story has to go on. So I'm picking him to win.
That's a bold one right there.
Is it? I don't know if it's that bold, but I think for that story to work the way that I have it sort of envisioned in my head, he's got to retain that title, and that will cement the heel turn for him. That will cement the boo birds for Sami Zayn, who can't understand. He said it on Friday. I can't understand why you people are booing me. What did I do to you? Okay, well, keep going with this. There's something there. And you'll get Trick that much more cheered and over by leaning into it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Sure, I just don't see the point of removing Carmelo Hayes to do all that and then not have Trick Williams win the championship at WrestleMania. Like, this is the big stage. This is your guy. This is clearly the guy that they're positioning to be the face of this brand. So
yeah, but Trick Williams, again, people are cheering Trick. I think he's trending towards babyface anyway. So yeah, I mean, Carmelo Hayes could still challenge him for the title, but to me, people want to see Trick win the championship. So then if Carmelo Hayes is on the very next episode of SmackDown, like, okay, I want my shot. I don't know. I almost feel like that's going to work against Carmelo Hayes because people aren't going to want to see Trick lose that belt because they're really starting to rally behind him. I also think they telegraphed it like, I kind of want you to win the title because then I could challenge you for it after WrestleMania. Yeah, that's what he told him, right? On Friday.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to happen.
All right. That's going to be interesting to see play out. And now, the World's Heavyweight Championship. I was saying that it started off great. They unloaded everything they had in that first promo. It kind of died off a little bit. Roman took 4 weeks off. They got back to it. It started getting a little bit, hot and heavy between them. It hasn't felt the same since that first week. I think they really peaked there. They mentioned family. The Usos got involved, and they were looking for an apology because Punk said something about Roman's father. And last night, Jason, he comes out, and he's almost apologetic in a way. And he says that he's envious of Roman, and he respects Roman in a certain way because he knows Roman busted his ass for those WrestleMania main events and, where he came from. And Roman shot back at him saying that CM Punk's connection to the audience is so genuine that when he goes away, he wishes that when he comes back like Punk did, that those people do the same thing to him. If he's away for 10 years, he wants his name to be chanted 10 years. I don't know what the direction was that they went in last night. Like, I tried to put myself in Punk's shoes because I very much am what CM Punk was trying to relay last night. When you say something that you don't mean, or you yell at somebody and really get into this big argument with somebody, and then the next day you kind of regret it and you wish you could take everything back that you said, but you don't really apologize and you sit with it until you are physically and mentally ready to apologize. That's me to a T, because I'm ignorant. I'm an ignorant Sicilian. But in this case, I don't think it worked because I think that they did everything backwards. Like, if Punk wanted to apologize, he should apologize the week after he made the comments about Sika. Instead, he just let it sit. And now we're going into WrestleMania with them kind of not on the same page, but respecting each other after we got this brawl and we got these heated arguments and these words. I don't think it was the right message to relay going into Sunday night. So I don't know what you thought about it. I thought it was a good promo, but it felt flat because I wanted heat. I wanted tension going into Sunday. I feel like they kind of took away from that last night.
I think Punk came off pretty bad here, honestly. Think about the Punk we got on TV last week.
Yes.
He came out, he was all fired up, and he was throwing bombs at Roman Reigns. All right, a buck-toothed Nepo baby who was, sucked at football and like on and on and on. And Roman wasn't there. So now Roman is here. Now he's back on the show. And Punk comes out, he's very subdued. And the first thing he does, he apologizes. The one thing that Jey Uso wanted him to do. He finally apologizes. And it felt to me like, like Roman's back. We better be, I better apologize to this guy. I don't know. It just came off as weird to me that was not the Punk that we saw last week on the show. And so it was just a very different tone to strike. And Roman cut a Roman promo. I mean, what Roman said wasn't really any different than what we normally hear him say. Like, I hate you. And at WrestleMania, we take it back. Right? We get the championship back. We bring this thing back to where it needs to be. I thought that was kind of interesting. What does he mean by we? I just thought when it was over, I felt like we peaked at the beginning of February. The first promo coming out of the Royal Rumble that we had between them was the best of all the segments that we had with these two. And not that the other segments were bad, but none of them can match that first one, that first interaction between them. It was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
And we never really got back to that point. And because now WrestleMania is so late compared to what it used to be, they had to stretch things out. They have more television time now on the road to WrestleMania that they just ran out of ideas. Because a few weeks there, it felt like, okay, they're saying a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
I think I even said that on here on TNT. I was like, it's like they ran out of ideas on what to talk about. So then we got the pull-apart brawl, then we got another pull-apart brawl, and then we got, whatever this was. And like I said before, they didn't stick the landing with this. I'm still looking forward to the match, but they never were able to recapture sort of the magic, I guess, of that first segment together. And that was, at this point, dude, that was over 2 months ago.
Yeah.
That's how long there's a long road that we've been on. So I wasn't a huge fan of what they did last night. I thought Punk he kind of looked like a bitch, to be honest with you. in that segment. This is how he came off to me. I think that CM Punk is going to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't like the idea of putting the belt on Roman, knowing that he will not be around. I don't care what kind of story they craft around it. If we get a bloodline reunion, which I'm hoping we don't get. Again, pie in the sky, if there's some sort of larger thing going on here and we end up with some sort of alliance. My biggest fear is Pat McAfee gets involved in this match. Him and or Randy will get involved in this match, and we end up with some sort of corporate alliance where Randy and Roman are part of the same group.
All right, listen, you made enough hot takes tonight. We don't need
I'm just saying, that's my fear. Like, that's my fear if they really want to kind of blow this thing up. But like, it almost doesn't even matter because whatever the idea is, we know that Roman is going to be very limited. And I just don't want to be back in a situation again where, like, they were able to make it work the first time with the Bloodline because the Bloodline story was just firing on all cylinders. And you had all these other members, right? Sammy and the Usos, and they were all able to sort of, further that story even when Roman wasn't physically there. You don't have that now. And if he ain't going to be around, which we know he's not, he does not need to hold a championship. I just think that is counterproductive. They may not look at it that way because he's Roman Reigns, right? Of course, you want your belt on your top guy. I don't want to see that. I think Punk needs to retain this title. I think that title it's just better off being around his waist right now than it is Roman Reigns.
Well, don't you? I said this on my end last night. Don't you think that WWE might be thinking that they've done everything with CM Punk and he's wrestled everybody at a top level outside Seth Rollins again, which I'm not interested in seeing a one-on-one match for the championship because you all know Rollins is going to go through breaker and then want the championship. Mm-hmm. Do you think that they put the belt on Roman because it offers Raw a fresh top of the card guy against different people like a Rollins and maybe a Breaker or a Gunther? Do you think that's a possibility to put the belt on Roman?
It's always a possibility.
I'm saying it's more of a possibility now than just saying Punk is going to retain the championship because I think if Punk retains the championship, there's really not many avenues to go as compared to Roman Reigns.
Well, I mean, that may be so unless they push some new people up in that main event scene, which they could always, try to do. I mean, Punk's been champion now since what, November 1st?
Yeah.
All right, November 1st. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have more fresh matches with Roman just because he hasn't worked with all the top guys on that. They never did do that singles match with him and Braun Breaker. Him and Gunther, I mean, we got it in the final two in the Royal Rumble match. So that would be one. That's not a match I would be doing, though, because either Gunther wins the title or he gets beat by Roman Reigns like everybody else. And so what good does that do Gunther? I wouldn't even do that match.
If Roman, this is a long shot, but if Roman added more dates to his schedule, would you be a little bit more at ease to put the championship on him?
Yeah.
If he makes television?
Yeah. I would hope to have him, though, on the show. It doesn't have to be every week, but I would hope to have him on the show a lot more often than he is now. We've gotten used to seeing Punk defend the championship on TV, which was something Roman rarely did before. So I wouldn't mind seeing him have a title defense on television every now and then. So if I knew that, hey, okay, guess what? He's going to be around more often now. All right, cool. Then my thought process changes on that. Because it's not that like I'm the biggest CM Punk as world champion fan. What I'm not a fan of is putting a belt back on a part-timer who's not going to be around, and we have to sit through 2.5 hours of television every single week with the top guy who's not even present on the show.
Do we see Dwayne?
No.
Okay. There you go. That's your WrestleMania preview and predictions, chat. Some bold predictions here by the Monster. You got Sami Zayn going over Trick, Bianca coming out to help Jade. Keep an eye on those, man. He may be. Well, he got Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble last year, correct? So I wouldn't doubt him.
I had a different pick, but I did say he was my dark horse, and people weren't even
nobody.
Listen,
give yourself a little bit more credit. Nobody said Jey Uso was even a shot to win the Royal Rumble last year. Come on.
No, nobody I heard up until maybe I don't know, a few days before.
Yeah, because they got it from you. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of looking back on it, I kind of wish I wasn't right about that, but that's beside the point. But yeah, I mean, it's just I think there needs to be some things that happen this weekend that kind of shake up the system a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
It can't just be maintaining the status quo.
They need to hit a grand slam. I know last year's Mania felt very flat for a lot of people. This year's show has a better card as compared to last year. A lot of
Yeah, night two much better on
Yeah.
paper than night one.
Yeah.
But I think these shows live or die based on how those main events end.
Yeah.
That's what people are going to be talking about.
Thank you guys for a great stream tonight. We're going to try and wrap this up as quickly as we can because A, I got to shower, and then B, both of us have to fly out tomorrow morning. Me at 8:30 and then Jason soon after that. So we will be in Vegas tomorrow. Thank you guys for a great stream. 3,100 by my count here tonight. We just hit 1,000 likes and the super chats are open. And if you want to follow everything Solid Monster down below in the description, Twitter and YouTube. So please go and check him out where he is available. Let's get into the super chats here. We're starting off at the top. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD Jason, OTS, TNT, WrestleMania week. Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Michael.
We got Naima with a $4.99. Brock is the GOAT if he says to Oba, "Oh, you got me, brother. Somebody get my wife and kids on the phone." Give me backshot Solid Monster with a $4.99. I like Solo Sikoa, but the reason I think MFT still exists is because Creative doesn't trust a Solo, no pun, running from him. Atrociously boring faction. Yeah, so boring that they felt like we needed him on Monday last night, too.
I was like, man, did I hit the button for the wrong show here?
Yeah.
Why are they here?
I
They don't even have a WrestleMania match. Why are they here on this go-home episode of Raw?
No, but they let you know on Friday they're wrestling the Wyatt Six, though.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with what they actually did with them last night. They reminded us of that, but the Wyatt Six they didn't show up last night.
No. Thank God. Chicago with a $5 super chat. Do you think having a pay-per-view model instead of a PLE works in fans' favor in terms of keeping live event ticket prices down? Having a pay-per-view model instead of PLE?
Yeah, I mean, one doesn't have anything to do with the other.
No.
Yeah. They're two totally separate things.
Yeah. Yo, boy, Pete, thank you again, brother, for the $100 super chat. We really appreciate it. Boss Mo Jackson with $4.99. People complain about mic skills and promos in this company. Some not so much. So my question to you guys is, what makes someone a great promo in your opinion?
Authenticity.
Yeah. I was going to kind of stay in the same ballpark. You listen to Oba Femi. The one thing I took away from his promo is not the fact that he's very well spoken and he's got that nice bass and tone to his voice. It's so tough to watch somebody nowadays and believe in what they say. And sometimes when you do believe in what they say, creative drops the ball and then they end up losing a match and then it kind of erases what they said in the promo, which sounded so good. Oba, you believe what he says. Like, he's a believable fucking guy. He said what he said, and I believe every word out of his mouth. Now WWE's got to back that up and have him win. Legitimacy goes a long way. Thank you, Boss Mo Jackson. Tone C with a $2 super chat leaves us a popcorn emoji. Thank you, Tone C. Mr. Nobody, 25 with a $5 super chat. Carmelo Hayes must hate his entrance music now. The second line of the song literally says, "You want your shot? Well, I guess you'll wait till next year." I didn't know the lyrics to this song. That's
I didn't know either.
That's fucked up, man.
That's basically what Matt Cardona told him on Friday.
Yeah. WrestleMess with 15 months. Thank you, brother. Happy WrestleMania week. I live in Vegas and did it all last year. This year, I'm relaxing at home watching Mania and listening to your post shows. It's the way to do it. It's the way to do it. Indigo with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD Jason, this road has been bumpy, but your WrestleMania coverage was top notch. I just want to wish you guys a safe trip to and from Vegas. Much love.
Thank you, brother. Always good to hear from Indigo.
Thank you, Indigo. Sidro with a 5. Had a good convo with a dolphin the other day. I don't know. We just clicked. And what type of music is played over footage of No Kings protests? Royalty-free music. You got a side smile from the monster there. Not enough, Sidro. Not enough. Michelle with a $5 super chat. If Randy gets the title, how long will he hold it? And do you think there's a chance that Cody gets moved to Raw after WrestleMania? No. Now with Punk and Roman on Raw, Cody's not going to Raw. And how long will he hold it? Let's get him to win it first. Seriously. If he wins it, I think he'll hold it through the summer. Easy. Andrew with a 199. Danhausen to curse John Cena to make more matches. Is he going to be cursed on Sunday?
I think he'll threaten to curse him. I don't think John Cena will end up actually being cursed. My bigger question is, like, does John Cena show up in a suit and tie, or does he go back on his word? Because he said we will never again see him in the jorts and the hat. Like, after I retire, he goes, that's it. You will never see me wearing that again.
That is a good call there.
So I would imagine that he may be in a suit and tie. We might see, corporate host Cena at WrestleMania.
Well, maybe he forgot what he said, and maybe he does show up in his ring gear.
Well, then that would make him a liar, then, wouldn't it?
Tell me when I'm telling lies. We heard that about 4 times yesterday in Punk's promo. James Hammond, well, at 199. We'd love to see John Cena hit the AA in his suit. There you go. James Hammond thinks he's gonna wear a suit as well.
I think so. I think he's a man of his word. I think he will.
Sidro with a $2 super chat. If me and Hyon went on a date, so what you get high on? So what you get high on? Like high, smoke, marijuana?
Yeah, but the way you said that, it didn't make any sense.
So what you get? What you get high on? Is what I said. What you get high on?
What you get high on? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's the joke. What you get high on?
I'm completely lost.
Usually I'm the one lost with these jokes.
I think it's a terrible joke, but
Sidro, it's a terrible joke, bro. Just eliminate it. Delete it.
It's awful. Yeah, it's phrased in an awful way.
Lauren with a $5 super chat. WrestleMania Night 1 predictions. She says Charlexa, Vision, AJ, Drew, Gunther, Liv, and Randy. And then Night 2, Penta, Jade, Finn, Trick, Oba, Punk. JD, Jason, do you see any surprises, turns on Mania? Well, we just went through a whole Mania preview, so hopefully you caught some of that in there. Jason had 2 hot picks in the preview himself. Chrono with a $5 super chat. Taker and Jason as creative bookers equals money. Which topping should be banned from a pizza? Who wins between 05 Angle and 97 Brett? Much love, guys. Cheers. Yeah, Taker's getting a lot of praise for his work in AAA.
I'll tell you what, the hottest angle anywhere in the company right now is with 2 guys who aren't even on the WrestleMania card.
That we thought was going to be on the WrestleMania card, but
I'm glad it's not.
Yes.
Because that match needs to take place in front of a crowd down there, not in front of one of these crowds.
Yes, I like that. Topping should be banned from pizza. I don't know. I usually just go with 3. It's either crumbled sausage, mushrooms, or pepperoni. Or I love buffalo chicken too. Can't forget buffalo chicken.
I'm the wrong person to be asking this question.
Yeah, Jason can't eat pizza. Who wins, 05 Angle or 97 Brett?
I have to go 05 Angle. I mean, that guy was a machine. Be a great match, though.
It'd be a great match. Bossman Jacks with a $4.99. Solo is right. I've personally never enjoyed the Bucks look, their work, or their style, persona, and presentation. They annoy me respectfully. Sure. I think it's, they've done something that's successful and just refused to change outside the gimmick here and there and kind of slight character changes, but they eventually went back to what brought them to the dance.
Yeah, Sidro said you missed one after the Danhausen one.
Oh, there it is. $5 super chat. Sidro, my teacher told me to turn in my essay. I told her, I ain't no snitch. The Spanish fire chief's wife had twins. He named them Jose and Hose B. No?
I like the first one better.
Okay. There you go, Sidro. Hose B. Lauren, thank you. Krana, thank you. Boss Mo Jackson, thank you. Thomas, 37 months. Cheers to 37 months. JD Solo, I just finished The Shield, and wow, what a finale.
Why, it's one of the best shows ever made. Which, by the way, Michael Chiklis just mentioned that I believe the show is now available on Amazon Prime.
There you go. Don Fanucci with a $5 super chat. WWE should have called John Taffer to save this WrestleMania season. He seems like a fan. Thank God for a new episode of Bar Rescue, at least. TNT for life. I love Bar Rescue. I think John Taffer's the man. Alex with a $4.99. Love the show, guys. Keep up the great work. Would you think it's safe to say Rollins versus Gunther is also a number one contenders match? No. I do not think so. I don't know what Jason thinks. No. Should be a match of the night candidate for sure. They may end up stealing the whole weekend if they actually are allowed to go out there and do what they got to do. Demeter Bullion Doggy with a $7.99. Opinion on Shane and Sean McMahon versus Priest and Truth at Mania. I going to call Paul London to add me ladder match and elbow drop off first rung on 20-foot ladder. Paul London, huh?
Paul London gets a WrestleMania match, but Io Sky does not. That is a terrible idea.
I know Paul London's got me blocked on X. I don't know what I said to Paul London. I don't know. What did I do? I don't know.
You must have said something about him.
Boss Mo Jackson with the $1.99. True or false? Trips will be fired before 2027.
No.
18 to 24 months. I think he's gone. Lauren with the $2 super chat. I don't think Orton had any say in this storyline. He didn't. Orton's just happy to be there. He's making his $5 million a year, and he goes home to his beautiful wife. He don't give a shit. Cody cares because he gets fucked over another year and maybe losing the championship with another celebrity appearance. J.D. Ambrose with a $5 super chat. The Birthright stable consists of second-generation wrestlers. So would this make Stax the son of Tom Brady? I don't know. Is Stax related to... Does Stax have a famous father?
No.
No?
No, he doesn't.
So he's in this group because he's dating Ariana Grace. Is that the whole thing?
I guess that's basically it. Yeah, I guess so.
He's Birthright by association.
As far as I know, he's not second generation.
Good for him. Lauren with the $2 super chat. If Shane took over creative, would it be better? No.
No.
No. Absolutely 100% no. Ken with a $9.99. Would you rank Pat McAfee being revealed as Randy Orton's mystery caller up there with Brock Lesnar ending the streak or the formation of the NWO as far as biggest surprises in wrestling? Well, I almost want to refund you the fact that you actually put Pat McAfee being revealed and NWO formation in the same sentence.
I was going to say, I don't know if he's going to WrestleMania. He may already be in Vegas and the alcohol is flowing, and perhaps that would account for the super chat.
Shame on you, Ken. Come on now. Vulcan, 280 with the $5 super chat. JD Solar just wanted to wish you safe travels, and if you can leave some of your magic in Vegas, maybe we will get a good WrestleMania this year. Before we leave and get on the plane on Friday, we'll do a nice little seance at the airport.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, that won't be weird or anything. They see us just standing in the airport lounge going look like that or something. Yeah,
we could sound like Liv Morgan on Monday and just sound demonically possessed. Ragnarok with a $5 super chat. Can't wait for next year's War Games. Cody, LA Knight, the Usos, and Javon Evans versus Logan Paul, Pat McAfee, Little Yahtzee, Gabriel Iglesias, and Burt Kreischer.
God. Maybe they can get Tom Brady in there.
Will he be there on Saturday or Sunday? That's the question.
I'm going to say no.
I think he does something with John Cena.
I think Danhausen does something with John Cena.
Well, maybe Tom Brady gets cursed.
I think we all get cursed. the more celebrity influence that gets added to this show. Did he say Lil Yahtzee?
No, I call him Lil Yahtzee.
Oh, you call him?
Yeah, he's Lil Yachty. Yeah, that's what I call him, Lil Yahtzee. Steven, $2 super chat. Best wrestling duo on the game. Stay safe in Vegas. Thank you, Steven.
Thank you.
Ken with another $9.99. In your opinion, which WWE produced music video contained sexier dance moves? Liv Morgan's Trouble or
Don't tell me Stand Back.
Yes, or Vince McMahon's Stand Back. Oh my God. No comment. No comment. We all know the answer to that one. Come on. Basic with the $4.99. Liv's music video will never be better than Hulkster's In the House.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Me neither. April 22nd, by the way, that Hulk Hogan documentary on Netflix airs.
I'm almost through the Shawn Michaels one on Peacock.
Oh, I'll save that for the plane tomorrow. I gotta watch that.
I'm like 90% of the way through it.
MJ Gel with a $9.99 regarding Darby MJF. This is what eliminator matches are for. Have Darby go over in his hometown and get a shot at Double or Nothing for the title, which is where Flushing's he actually lost the opportunity to Max. Did he lose the opportunity to Max in Flushing? I don't remember.
I have no idea.
Well, yeah, listen, we'll see what happens. Jason makes a good point that, at the end of the day, it switches things up and it gives you a little different take on what's going on. It breaks up the monotony of a title run. I think everything's gelling with MJF, and I'm just more in the camp of if it's not broken and things are really good right now, ratings-wise and like momentum-wise, you don't change that. But like he said, maybe Darby winning the championship for 4 weeks is not going to really make that big of a difference where it's going to negatively impact the company. We'll see. Also, MJ Gel with a $9.99 regarding Mania. It's a Mania-level card across 2 nights with a controversial Road 2 that got a lot of people talking, good, bad, or indifferent. Hate warranted as it is leaning too heavily overblown. Listen, the build, in my opinion, I don't know what Jason thinks, the build overall was better than last year. The Pat McAfee stuff has really, and I mean seriously, really put a damper on a mega match. And just the television is not better. I mean, some of these SmackDown shows were legitimately the worst shows that I've seen in years. It's not helping in any way at all. Do you think the build is better than last year overall?
I don't remember much outside of the Cena stuff. That's I was so laser focused on what they were doing with the Cena heel turn. I mean, I know they switched the world title on the women's side, a month before or whatever to EO, and so we had the EO Rhea Bianca stuff. I remember that. So I don't know how it stacks up to last year. I mean, I've been mostly nonplussed with the build this year. Again, the Brock and Oba stuff has been pitch perfect. Stephanie and Liv has really they've ratcheted things up in recent weeks. And beyond that, I'm just sort of indifferent to a lot of it, honestly. I feel like injuries also clearly ravage whatever their original plans were with some of these people. So they were sort of scrambling over the last 3 or 4 weeks to put some matches together that originally were not going to happen. And so that kind of ruined the build up also a little bit. So I don't know. This was definitely, I think, a mostly lackluster build. And it could very well end up that despite that, we end up with a great in-ring WrestleMania. I think Cody made a comment a few weeks ago where he's like, I'm going to make a bold prediction that this will be either the greatest or one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. That was before the Pat McAfee stuff, by the way.
Yes, he did say
So
that.
I don't know if he feels the same way now.
MJ Gel with 199. Be safe in Vegas and have a good Mania week. And thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chats tonight. Jay Games with a 999. Hi, Jay. Your wrestling reviews are so funny. Your energy reminds me of BC Amplified. I don't know if you know him, but I could see you two having a banger of a Raw review. I know BC. He's been over the house for a New Year's celebration a couple of years ago. We actually hung out at a function with Jason. I had a couple of beers with him. We did something with Julian, and Indigo was there. Draper was there. I forgot what bar that was at. That was many, many years ago. But BC's good people. I mean, I don't know what he thinks about what I'm doing, but listen, man, I'm having a very good year, and it's thanks to you guys, so I appreciate it. Boss Mo Jackson with a $4.99. He says, I was surprised to find out Mercedes Moné is dating Beast Muertos. Where the fuck have you been, bro? This is like 8-month-old news. I wouldn't mind her back in WWE, but I did not like Royce Key's finish. That's not it. The spine buster? He's got one of the best spine busters in the business.
It's his signature move. I mean, that was...
That's his thing. Jericho with a $20 super chat. Cody Randy has become Cody McAfee with Orton as a side character. Seeing McAfee walk off with the title with Orton out of sight was disgusting. TKO thinking Cody and Randy weren't good enough to sell this on their own as a joke. I see no lies detected in anything you wrote there, brother. 100% spot on. Bad Trips with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, I wish you didn't hate the Bellas so much. It makes me sad when you say nobody cares about them. I care. It's 2026, brother. I don't want to see the Bella twins on my TV.
You got to join the Bella Army, JD.
I do. Listen, if the Bella Army is serving Sauvignon Blanc white wine, I'm there. Sign me up. Bossman Jackson with the $4.99. When it comes to characters, no one would. What does he say here? No, who would you guys say your top 3 all time? Mine would be Kane, Bray Wyatt, Undertaker. These guys at times felt like a movie. So when it comes to characters, who would you say is top 3 all time?
In terms of like gimmicks, you mean?
Gimmicks, yeah, I guess that's what he means. Yeah.
I mean, Undertaker. Fucking gimmicks. I mean,
Undertaker's number 1, and there's nobody even close.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay, so Kane, Undertaker,
Kane, yes.
Kane,
Yeah.
especially OG Kane.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. Those are the a lot of the other guys I'm thinking of. I don't really look at them as like gimmicks. So I'll go with Undertaker and Kane, and everybody else.
For the sake of it, I'm going Berserker.
Okay, well now you just some with you and the Berserker. Like you've brought him up now multiple times over the last couple of years. I didn't know you were such a closet Berserker. Do you know they uploaded a Coliseum video to the vault a few weeks ago, and he was in a match. It was like a tag team match, and he would not shut the fuck up for the entire match. Like every 5 seconds.
And you sat there and ate your breakfast and watched the Berserker for your morning breakfast this week.
I did, and I listened to Huss about fucking 37 times in the course of this match.
Oh my god. Boots with a $20 super chat. Jelly Roll gives Pat McAfee an avalanche poison Rana. LOL. Is he even capable of that? Maybe a Canadian destroyer. As long as it takes Pat McAfee off of television, I'm good with it. Michael Krause with a 2. Dude wipes or TKO paint on the demon. LOL. Can you imagine the demon wearing sponsored face paint when he's out there?
Yes, I can.
Oh my god. Alex with the $5 super chat. Brother JD and Solo, I know you're sick of this, but I gotta ask, do we see Rock either night of Mania this weekend? No. Jason says no. I'm leaving it open 50-50. Bossmo Jackson, $4.99, a hot take. Lexus King will stand out and become a big star on the main roster once he gets there. Some may think it's a stretch, but he has potential. Lexus King doesn't go past United States Championship.
You think he's going to go that far? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's going to go that far. But
Jason don't even think he makes the main roster. That's what that sounds like to me.
I'm skeptical.
WrestleMania.
You're gonna be in trouble here.
WrestleMania with the one I did. KO should return and help Randy win, then Sammy win. Well, Kevin Owens should have been the mystery call. We wouldn't be in this fucking situation, and I maybe have somewhat of a voice left. I don't know. If it was up to Triple H, I guarantee you Kevin Owens would have been the mystery call.
If it were up to Triple H, I guarantee you there would not have been a mystery caller angle to begin with, and it would have just been a story between Cody and Randy.
Also, yes. What do you got? Whitworth, 2243 with a $5 super chat. Punk and Cody's merch sales drop when heels. That's why they hate doing it. Sure. I'd buy a heel Cody shirt. WrestleMess with a $1.99. Who will have the best entrance? Any live bands? Demon's gonna have the best entrance. I'm looking forward to Oba's too in front of that live crowd.
Yeah, I mean they've had Living Color perform for Punk before. I mean, I could see them doing it again, maybe.
Yep. No live bands.
Okay.
I mean,
So they had Alter Bridge performing at WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, I know what they sound like. I know what they sound like live. Everybody else that they got in there have sounded like shit.
All right.
They did Kerry King last year for Damian Priest, and I mean, there was no vocals there. He's just playing guitar, but. Caden with a $4.99. It looks like JC call up. JC was crying and blowing kisses to the crowd after tonight's episode. I think we all assumed that after she lost to Lola.
Yeah, post-Mania. She should be on SmackDown because I feel like SmackDown could use her more.
Yes. Kingdom Kid with a $4.99. Is there a song that plays during a video PKG that every time you hear it, you think of that PKG, i.e. Rock Austin with My Way?
Yeah. Lonely Road of Faith. for that video package years ago when they, I think it was the one that they aired when Vince and Flair were co-owners and the NWO was coming in. And it was like a video package to show the history of the WWF. And this is what happened when the NWO invaded WCW. Don't do this. Don't bring them in. It was Lonely Road of Faith by Kid Rock. So I always think of that video. I mean, I don't hear that song very often these days, but like I associate that song with that. I associate Running Up That Hill with the video package for Shawn and Taker WrestleMania 26.
Yep.
Although now I also associate it with Stranger Things. Monster, the video package, Imagine Dragons, Monster for WrestleMania 30 for Daniel Bryan.
Yep. I gotta throw one in for AC/DC Highway to Hell for
Yes,
Austin and Undertaker SummerSlam.
that was a great build. You're talking about build-ups.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
That was an exciting build-up.
Yes.
Summer of 98.
I missed that, man. Great question. Thank you, brother. Furious Nation with a 54 months. What's up, JD Soul? Happy WrestleMania week and travel safe to Las Vegas. Also, I think WrestleMania 42 song Bones for the Crows is a low-key banger. I said this last night. I think Nickelback is generic mainstream garbage. I can't name you one fucking Nickelback song. Seriously. But that song that they chose for WrestleMania is genuinely a good song. I've actually listened to it on my personal Spotify.
What about that song they used in the Spider-Man movie years ago? A Hero. Right? Hero comes to save me.
Oh, come on, man. That's too mainstream.
Man.
That's too mainstream for me. I'm sorry.
Too mainstream. Doesn't mean it's a bad song.
It's all right. It's not something I go out and listen. This song though, for Mania, I've actually personally listened to. It's a good song.
So I know I can guarantee that you on your Spotify playlist you have Back in the Saddle Again. You're going to be listening to it all the way to Las Vegas tomorrow.
No.
On repeat.
No, Back in the Saddle Again. No. Don Stoney with a $10. I should be listening to the CD you got me. It's a good time to listen to it.
You should bring your compact disc player on the plane with you, and you should play the CD. Yes. On your flight in. Yeah, it's funny. I was just thinking, like, even back during like 2002, 2003, they were using songs, like certain rock songs that still stand out to me. There was a Trust Company song that they used. I forgot the name of the song. I know it was a Trust Company song, and that one, it was for like Unforgiven or something, and that one still stands out to me. Yeah, they went through this weird period where they were using those artists, Puddle of Mud, and I think they used Puddle of Mud for Survivor Series in 2001. What was the one? Saliva. They used that.
Yeah, they used all those, man. They used Papa Roach from Monday Night Raw. That To Be Loved is a great fucking song. I gotta get Papa Roach is a guilty pleasure of mine. I think they're a great band.
Yeah,
their older stuff anyway. Don Stoney, shout out to my boy Rams fan attending GCW The Collective this week in Vegas. Be safe and have fun, fam. Stoney, thank you, brother. A lot of great wrestling this weekend, man. Enjoy it all. Furious Nation with a $4.99. If Oba goes over Brock at Mania, would you have him win King of the Ring and wrestle Roman or Punk for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam? I'm not crowning Oba the champion this year. I think it's too soon.
We don't even know if we're going to have King of the Ring this year.
No, I hope we do, though. Arnold with a $10 super chat. McAfee looks like Kevin Bacon in the movie Hollow Man. That's a great movie, by the way. With those sunglasses. Hope your busy week is also a great week. Have a great trip. Thank you, brother. Hollow Man is a great movie if nobody's seen it. Kevin Bacon was a sadistic fuck in that movie. It was great. Lord Maestro with $4.99. Hey, guys, just wanted to send some love solo. I have a question. If Brett's contract was honored, what do you think the plan would be for him post-97?
Well, I always felt like he would be the one dropping the belt to Austin at WrestleMania. I don't know what they would have done with Shawn unless they worked him into the match maybe, but that to me would have been the most appropriate thing to do for all the times he beat Austin. And I don't think he would have had an issue putting Austin over either.
No.
So I think that would have been your main event for WrestleMania 14. And beyond that, I mean, he would have worked with a bunch of people that unfortunately he never had the chance to work with. And then I think he would have transitioned into, I don't know if he wanted to be a coach or maybe what like modern day would be a producer. Like he would have just transitioned into a role like that because he had a 20-year deal. You know, he wanted to be a lifer there. So eventually he would have, but we would have gotten matches with him and Kurt, him and Cena, him and Randy, him and Brock. How great would that have been?
I know.
Him against a young Brock Lesnar when he used to actually wrestle?
Maestro also with the 199. Also, what's an underrated Brett match? An underrated Brett match? I don't think the Bob Backlund match at Survivor Series 94 gets talked about enough. I thought that was a great match.
Well, I mean, it was much better than that awful WrestleMania match they had. Easily the worst match of Brett's entire WrestleMania streak of matches. But I mean, I don't really look at too many of his matches as being underrated.
Yeah, there's ones that don't get talked about. I think the one with Ramon at 93 Rumble was a great match too.
That was very good.
Yeah.
I guess one that doesn't maybe get talked about as much as it should. He had a great match at the first In Your House with Hakushi.
Great match.
I think they may have opened the show with that.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah, those In Your House shows were largely kind of 1 or 2 match shows at 2 hours.
Oh, there were 2. Tony Khan hated those shows. They were only 2 hours long.
Some of WWE's greatest matches came from those In Your Houses.
Yes.
Furious with a 199. What if 06 Angle wrestled Prime CM Punk? Well, he would beat Prime CM Punk. Not even a question. Furious also with a 499. Top 5 Undertaker WrestleMania matches, in my opinion. HBK at 25, Batista at 23, Edge at 24, Punk at 29, Randy Orton at 21. We're forgetting the Triple H one. Hell in a Cell.
As long
a
as
great
25 is at the top of the list, that's all that matters.
Yep. Duff's Viz with a 499. What do you call a friend you enjoy eating with? A taste bud. Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you.
Like it.
Thank you, Duffs.
It's not gut-bustingly funny, but
no, it's a good one. Zeno Relic with a $5 super chat. What's worse, Pat McAfee's promo or Ambrose scared of viruses gimmick?
the Ambrose.
Definitely, no doubt about it that Bruce was watching fucking the 3rd installment of Batman with fucking Bane and Tom Hardy. That's exactly what he was watching.
That's the night that Dean Ambrose decided, I'm going back to being John Moxley.
Yep.
That was the beginning of the end. Remember they were teasing a potential match with him and Nia Jax?
Yes. But this is the guy that everybody wants back, apparently. Great. Russell West with the 199. Mysterio being cleared after Gunther gets a match. I'm not complaining about it. It worked out for the best. Mysterio is where he's got to be, and Gunther's where he needs to be. Trayvon with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD Solo, if you had to choose out of the Bella Twins or the Moronics, who would you find more tolerable for a WrestleMania match? The Bella Twins. Easy.
Well, they're more over, at least. I mean, you know.
Jason refuses to answer this question.
I don't have it within me to give you a serious answer one way or the other.
009.5. Thank you, brother. Bro, ain't no way Lesnar's winning with his 2 fucking moves. If Oba doesn't win, we riot. Thank you, gents, for a great show. I think we're pretty confident Oba's going to win. Havili with a $2 super chat. Is there any chance of getting Asuka versus Io? Jason says, give up. It's over.
The answer is no. It's over. Backlash.
And Furious with a $4.99. This will be it. Top 5 WrestleMania songs. Light It Up by Rev Theory. Ladies and Gentlemen by Saliva. Step Up by Drowning Pool. And My Way Crack Addict by Limp Bizkit.
That was a good one. Crack Addict was a good one. That was WrestleMania 19.
The good old days.
But I still am very partial to the actual WrestleMania theme. The Linda McMahon theme. And I wish they would use it more. That's to me will always be the WrestleMania. That's a signature WrestleMania.
What about WrestleMania the album during WrestleMania 9?
That's the song I'm talking about.
Oh, that's the one you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
actually,
is that what they called it? The Linda McMahon song?
No, it's the one that they ended up giving to her.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Just,
okay.
Just,
yeah.
just without the lyrics, because that wouldn't have made any sense.
That's a great song.
It is a great song. You could tell my taste in music. I'm not saying this is the best. I'm just saying, like, I've always been partial to WrestleMania 22. Yeah, if you remember, they used Big Time by Peter Gabriel.
That's a great song. There's nothing wrong with that.
I really liked that song that year when they used it for WrestleMania.
Nothing wrong with that at all. It's a great song. And Vincent comes in late with a $5 super chat. Next week, Tatum Paxley versus Blake Monroe in a casket match on NXT. Safe travels to Vegas. TNT, always enjoy y'all show. Happy WrestleMania week. Vincent, thank you very much. I'm tired of the casket matches. I think that's another gimmick they've kind of burned into the ground. But thank you guys for a great stream tonight, man. I got to take a shower, get some rest, and we are both traveling tomorrow, so we will see you hopefully Thursday at a House of Glory at the Pearl Theater at the Palms Casino. It's going to be a great, great night, so please come out and hang out with us. And as always, I'm going to leave Jason to sound us off for a great week of TNT.
Yeah, like JD said earlier, we've been crushing it every Tuesday, so we thank you guys for that. Hopefully this will continue beyond WrestleMania. We have a lot more TNT left to go this year, and also, like he said, hopefully we'll get to see some of you in Las Vegas. We got a big HOG show on Thursday night, and then we're, again, zipping back here to New York, but I know JD will be here on this channel here reviewing WrestleMania. I'll be doing the same on mine, and we're probably going to be going on, 2 hours sleep maybe each night?
Probably.
Maybe?
2 hours sleep and lots of caffeine for me.
Yeah, so it's going to be a busy weekend, and hopefully you guys will hang out with us and then back here for more TNT. We'll wrap it all up for you next Tuesday.
Thank you guys very much. We will see you hopefully Vegas Thursday night. That's 8 p.m. Vegas time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Trillo TV Plus. Make sure you guys, if you can't hang out with us live, come hang out with us on the show, live on Trillo TV. And we'll see you next week. Post-Mania, man. Gonna be a big one. Lots to talk about next week. We'll see you guys later.